Here in the city of Doors, Dame's troubles tend to go unheard. The factions keep their own law, and the average Joe, well, we're stuck carving out our own order. But Sigil isn't without help. When you've got a problem with no solution, a puzzle with no key, there's only one joint in town to turn to. They might not be the most professional outfit around, but they always solve the case. Because when you're desperate enough to turn to these idiots, you'll find your conundrum might just be open and shut.
Hello and welcome to our little mystery-solving D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, and as always, I'm joined by my cutters who took in a clueless into their case to take on a case.
Ooh, yeah, we did.
The meaning of case. It's good. It could also mean a residence in the planar cant. Anyway, Hello, welcome back. Campaign 2, Season 2, Episode 7. We're one past the halfway, so halfway in my brain always goes 5, but we're at 7 now. Time is quickly running through the hourglass, but we still got 4 whole episodes to do, and this is the first among those. Before we get started and see what adventures are in store for our heroes, though, Sophia, you have many things to share with us.
Yep, first, number 1 with a bullet, go Birds. It is still, as of time of recording, prior to the Super Bowl, baby. The Eagles are going to fly, Eagles fly.
A couple days away. It's going to be so...
Let's go
so dated.
Birds. But now that I've made this all about sports, let's talk about some Dungeons & Dragons. We are still in the pre-order window for the very cool Kyana and Finbar double pin pack. So if you're interested in getting one of your very own enamel pins of just 2 of our amazing members from the crew of the Paraspora, you can pre-order those now right over on our CrowdMade shop. The window will be open for about another week. It's extremely cool. The art is done by our very own Wally, who we miss dearly. It's absolutely gorgeous.
He's not dead.
Sometimes you can still hear his voice.
Sometimes you still hear his voice. He
but
comes in to help us plan things.
His living memory by pre-ordering the pins. They're really great. I'm so excited about it. CrowdMade has been lovely to work with. So head on over there, pre-order yourself some pins before they're gone, before that sale closes. I'd also like to remind everybody that we have a Patreon and a Discord. So if you want to hang out with the community or support the podcast directly, those are great places to do so. And I want to give a special thank you to our friends over at Mage Hand High Five. Stick around in the mid-roll for more on them and all of the amazing actual play adventures that you can find over at Mage Hand High Five. But with that, I think we can all join together in the ceremonial and now annual singing of the Eagles fight song. I'm not going to lead in. I just want to see how much you guys internalized from last time. So I'm going to count you in and then everyone pick it up. All right? 3, 2, 1.
Let's go, Giants. Let's go. Let's go, Giants. Let's go.
Not only are the Giants not in the Super Bowl, but I don't think there's a single Giants fan on this call.
The Giants, not only are the Giants not in the Super Bowl, I don't think you could get further from the Super Bowl than the Giants.
Yes, you can.
They're at the San Francisco
Saquon
Giants,
Barkley,
the
who they
baseball team.
let go of, who got picked up by the Eagles, is now in the Super Bowl. That's like the ultimate egg in their face.
Yeah.
Just making a note. Learn the Eagles fight chant.
Well, by next episode, the Super Bowl will have happened. So I'm either going to be extremely happy or extremely unhappy, and the ad read will reflect that. So just keep that in mind.
But either way, it'll be extremely annoying.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
The only fight song I know is Tom Lair's "Fight Fiercely Harvard," and I don't know.
I think what makes this
else,
even worse too is that I sang a parody of the fight song for Bileyg at the end of the last session we recorded, so it actually should be fresh in the mind.
The thing is, I think I would really have to have internalized that it was the Eagles fight song to know that that's what I should lead with.
I had to pick that up from context clues from everyone else expressing physical pain.
Each one of these days feels like a week now, so to me that was months ago.
Well, what's not months ago is the adventures that we have yet to have, so why don't we kick it off, Austin?
Good one. All right, well, with no further ado, thank God for that, let us return to the adventures of Open and Shut Investigations. When last we left our heroes, you'd made a new friend. Linnie joined us, and in joining us brought Fally. It does feel like Fally should be a paladin, like Fally the Pally, but no, cleric. importantly a cleric. You got dumped off in Sigil on your way home, and struggling to find a more direct route, you ended up in the orbit of Open and Shut because of Bileyg, and knowing a little bit about Beleyg's history. You got pulled into an adventure that you were not expecting when a debt, a agreement that Bileyg had made with a devil came due. You went looking for a vigilante, found him, didn't fight him, which was probably good for everyone's health, and instead kind of allied yourselves with this guy and sent him down into the loop, which is alternatively like a really clever move, have him help you out, or a great way to get rid of him, if that's what you should choose to do in the future. Regardless, though that seemed to work out smoothly, there was some conflict at the end of the last episode, specifically between Oobtaglor and Ingrid and Bileyg, having a disagreement about the ethics of these actions, and perhaps that history might be repeating itself, thinking back to the conflict with the Grixit from the last season. Well, everyone takes a long arguments had, disagreements had. Everyone takes a long rest. We are going to do a couple days time skip and go over the things that happened, but on the first morning, the usual smell of the ditch, the usual soot and grime of the lower ward where the business where Open and Shut is located is washed away, is made anew, as very serendipitous for just your second day in Sigil, Fally. The horrible only source of water in this city, the ditch, that is just a fetid, putrid, stinking, gelatinous crevice in the city. Once a year, once every 9-ish months, gets completely washed out when a random portal to Oceanus, the big river that flows through the upper worlds — there's the river Styx in the lower worlds, there's the river Oceanus in the upper worlds — opens up and floods the ditch and washes all of the grime away. And this is a momentous celebration kind of day for the people of Sigil. A lot of people come down, they don't have vacation days to burn, but if they can, they come down to whatever free time they have, and they celebrate. Kids splash in the water. People bring a bunch of clothes to wash. They bottle water to save for the future, because otherwise you gotta buy water that is brought in from other places. So this is a big, everyone puts aside their differences and cleans themselves off, gets rid of that caked on mud and soot and smell, and just kind of celebrates. And your office is located some 2 blocks from the ditch, so people are moving past your windows constantly the first morning to get to work. Everyone who has to cross from the Hive ward into the lower ward, which would be Fally and Bileyg, you have to squeeze your way through an enormous crowd. The bridge takes you a full 45 minutes to get it. It should be a 90-second walk. It takes you the full 45 minutes to squeeze your way through the shoulder-to-shoulder, packed tight group of people that have all gathered on the bridge to lower buckets down and haul them back up, filled with fresh water from the river. So, we're going to go over the course of a couple days, but I want to check in and see if there are any things that people want to do during that downtime. First off, another week passes, 10 platinum gold, split that up. 10 platinum gold, 10 platinum pieces, split that up as you will.
Divide it by 4, by 5, because we have a party fund. Never forget the party fund. 2 platinum each.
So, yeah, that would be 20 gold pieces to each of you.
Yes, including you, Linnie.
Yay! This is
Congrats,
the first
you've been
money
hired.
Fally's seen in a bit.
It feels good to have something in your pocket. You've got money in your pocket. The energy of the city is high. Is there anything that anyone would like to take care of? If not, we'll go to some events, some scenes that happen during these couple days.
Oobtaglor has to pay the pig tax.
Okay, Oobtaglor, pay the pig tax.
And I think since they brought Nyx the last time, they feel it's only fair if they brought Fally in for this time.
All right, so how do you ask Fally to go on this errand with you?
Fally, would you like to join me to help feed a friend?
I think Fally flashes back to the brain rats, which is the last feeding with a friend experience he has. And he says, yes, all right. Is it supper time?
It is feeding time. Supper time if we're following the Little Shop of Horrors.
I was gonna say, I think it's supper time.
Oh, the emphasis you've placed on feeding is worrying to me, but I've committed, I guess.
It'll be fine, and perhaps you can get your take on this situation.
Oobtaglor desperate to recruit people to the cause.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's good, see? You'll get it in a second.
Give a lot of good context.
Oobtaglor now
Regretting this
outnumbered.
already.
Yeah, so I guess without another word, they will escort Fally to the scratch wall, where, kind of without explanation, just kind of like going through the motions of it, they order the pig, and then they go to the house. And as they approach, Oobtaglor will explain that this is Maze, a house mimic who is growing in size. I found that we can probably feed him right by the sidewalk here. Maze, you up?
You feel a little tremor, and yeah, so do you have your pig?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so you have your pig.
I buy two.
Okay, double the pig tax. You got 2 pigs, and yeah, you watch as the sidewalk in front of you kind of does like a roll, and the pigs kind of like get off balance a little bit, and then the door opens, and what looks like the front carpet, like the red carpet that would be in the middle of this hall, stretches out like a long tongue, but it's barbed on the bottom, grabs both pigs, they begin to squeal, it wraps them up like a fruit roll-up, and tumbles in. The door widens as it does, just stretches, and you hear creaking like wood on a ship being pulled taut, but also it's like organic as it goes, and you see like the stretching, the membranes on either side, and then swallows, and just boom, everything goes right back to normal, except that the whole house gives a little shudder of joy, and you hear, double the treat.
Well, you asked to be fed more, and so I'm feeding you a little more. Don't get too greedy, though.
Fally steps behind Oobtaglor and says, "Ah, yes, well that gives new meaning to pigs in a blanket."
That it does. Very astute.
This cannot be good for, this cannot be good for urban planning. Do you have a permit? Do you get a permit for a house?
No. I don't know who we go to talk about this. This has sort of become something that we inherited. Well, I inherited. Rather last minute, I suppose, let's say. There was a case that involved us entering this house, and our options were either to attempt to fight it, which would have been, frankly, a futile effort, or to side with it, which I have been doing. And hopefully I'm still the dominant one in this relationship.
Two things happen at once, which is, as you are saying this, you notice that you're like, what used to be like an attic kind of space at the top, kind of like a half floor situation, you're like, that seems like it's like a full height now. Like, instead of being like a 4 or 5 foot crawl space, it is now like a 7-8 foot tall room that is on the top.
It's growing big.
And the second is that on the side where there is like cellar doors down to the basement, those fly open. There is a rush of hot air, and a pig skull tumbles through the air and into your outstretched pseudopods. Oobtaglor.
Cool. I'll add pig skull to my inventory, I suppose.
Slurp it in where your head goes.
I'm not doing that.
Like Cubone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's leave quickly.
Okay, yes. Expeditiously. Does it grow? Is it talking to you once you leave?
It talks. And it is growing. And
Come back soon. You hear?
There you go. You heard it. And do not utter a word of this to either Bileyg or Ingrid, but it is clear that this is starting to become a problem that is quickly becoming out of control.
Last episode, Oobtaglor. Have you thought about the consequences of your action and who you're aligning yourself with? This episode, Oobtaglor. Perhaps the house I've been feeding on the DL that's been growing is becoming a problem due to how I've aligned myself with it.
I feel it's only fair, since I outlined hypocrisy the last time we talked, that I should reflect and admit my own hypocrisies. But at the time, what were we supposed to do? Fight the mimic? No, of course not.
Yes, It seems like you... I would say it seems like you have this under control, and thus I won't say anything, but that really, really seems like it's not true. And if I was going to say,
it has abided by our contract thus far. I will admit that I am a little startled by how quickly it's been growing. That's merely it. That's simply it. But it has
sort of like you have like a sort of short-term rental situation. Like, is there an actual contract
quite the opposite.
signed?
Quite the opposite. The feeding them pigs is that it is so that it does not lure actual people in.
So an unwitnessed verbal contract.
Yes, more of a handshake deal.
Pseudopod shake.
Well, in my very limited experience in this city, that is gonna go great and will cause no problems, and I will tell someone? Nope. I don't know who to tell, so I don't know that I will tell anyone.
I'm getting the sense that your morality is structured upon telling authorities things. Do you have any opinions of your own?
Day one of meeting this new person.
Jesus, Oobtaglor, you can't just ask people if they have any opinions of their own.
Like, do you think that this is a good idea or not?
Of course, I think it's a terrible idea. I think you should report it immediately to the nearest authority. That's what I think.
Well, okay. So, I think you have to understand that this is a world, that this is a place in which authorities are mostly looking out for themselves, and so you'll find very few people in which they will make the infrastructure of Sigil their life's passion, let's say.
Right.
Like, you'll get the Dabu, but they don't really speak so much as show.
Yeah,
So
actually, I guess
what?
you've probably run into the Dabu at this point. So the Dabu are the closest thing the city has to, like, civil servants. To people who keep up the city. They are... Oh, God. They look like the Who's from Whoville, right? They look like that, but they're blue. They have big white cotton candy fluffy hair. They float. And they are silent. They do not speak. They just float around the city, and they do odd mundane jobs like clearing up rubble and pulling razor vine, which is like an infesting plant thing, off of buildings. That is basically the extent of what they do. And they don't talk, they have this like pictograph language that floats above their head. So they'll look at you and a bunch of like, sometimes letters, but usually like pictograph symbols and things like that will like rapid fire blink at you. And if you don't speak Dabu, or understand Dabu rather, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do, it's basically nonsense. So most people just kind of let them be.
So they're like cleaning sims.
Yeah, they're like cleaning sims that are kind of like, and then they can kind of be pains in the butt if you get in their way, and will like try to detain you and things like that. They're not super powerful, but they can be annoying to people in the city. And they serve the Lady of Pain, who is of course the ultimate power in the city. And so her you would have heard of. And so like if you tried to like fight a Dabu, that would be really bad news for you.
You'd wreck your shit. Okay. Well, the lady would presumably come and wreck your shit.
You don't want to... There's like a 1 in 100 chance that the lady would if you punched a Dabu, that the lady would give a shit, but it's so bad you don't want to roll those dice. Those dice are never worth rolling.
Great.
Now that I think about it, we could ask the Dabu and sort of leave the problem in their hands. Sort of... They are the closest thing to an authority we could ask about. We could ask this about.
Now, if you left it in their hands and the house ate one of them, would that come back on you or the house?
Hard to say.
This is a thought experiment only, right? I can't condone this, but if we assume, for whatever reason, that sort of it's a 1 in 100 chance that the Lady of Pain would take an interest in the destruction of the Dabu, and if they, and if she cared enough to destroy the eater of the Dabu, that would take care of your house problem between 0 and 100 days.
That would.
Oh no!
Now, terrible thought experiment. I don't even know why I suggested it.
What you're
this was a
saying
terrible
is
idea.
that we do leave the problem in the Dabu's hands.
I think I said this, and now I'm immediately regretting this. And I think I should go consult with Bileyg and Ingrid.
I told you not to utter a word of this to them.
Day 2 and Sigil.
Stitches get stitches.
Okay, but you can understand how fucked up it is to try and house some sort of morality in this town, right?
Right. Well, it seems like again, I've been here a day, and I'm rapidly realizing that I know nothing, which is fine. But it seems like it's not fine. But it seems as if perhaps recklessly committing to an action and then later facing the consequences of the action is sort of the only thing you can do here. But it does seem like you're sort of kicking the problem down the road. And by kicking, I mean, feeding a pig to a house or pigs. So, can you not get rid of the house now? My understanding is you were eaten by it and sort of can't destroy it from within, but you're now no longer... Is there not like a gentrification district that's looking to set up a next new luxury high-rise?
Yes, the solution
First
to the
of all,
giant mimic house.
Do you see
Gentrification.
where we are right now? This is the scratch wall. We're right by the hive ward. This is as bad... The slags. This is as bad can get.
So, can't you just blow it up or something?
We don't have the resources to blow stuff up.
Fucking Robert Moses over here.
Okay, but what if the bridges were too low for the mimic to go under?
I can create a large barrel of gunpowder, I suppose, black powder, but I don't think that's going to be enough to hurt the mimic.
Well, what if... I get, this is your house, it seems like... You asked my opinion, which was no, this seems like a terrible idea.
No,
but also
duly
maybe
noted.
it's your house to get in order. I can blow things up, but only small things. So unless you want to enchant your barrel of gunpowder to look like a pig and attempt to have the mimic swallow it and blow it up from the inside, I don't know how much gunpowder it takes to blow up a house. But again, I just got here, so I'm just coming along for the ride. But the last time I came along for the ride, I volunteered myself in service of, defending an entire district, and that's fine.
Yeah, what's up with that? You tend to say things that you don't seem very confident in saying. Like, you've gone on so many adventures, and you've helped so many people, and you don't seem to be very confident in those statements.
Well, I think the thing with confidence is that you fake it till you make it.
So you haven't gone on many adventures.
I've gone on at least one.
And that
So-
is getting
Well-
to Sigil.
Who can say really when an adventure ends?
Isn't life the greatest
Are we on the
adventure?
adventure right now?
When it when
adventure in the
you
room
get
with us.
paid or when you kill someone, I think is usually when an adventure ends.
Well, in that case, I have been on I have been on a number of adventures somewhere between the continuum of 0 and 1.
Inclusive or exclusive? Do you have the endpoints in there or nah?
I think it's
Careful your
exclusive.
math majors.
So, so less than 1, but more than 0.
Yes,
Cool.
a fractional adventure.
I mean, I admire the
round up
confidence.
here.
I also subscribe to the philosophy of fake it till you make it in some areas, but you said that you're here to help Bileyg, and if you've been lying about going on so many adventures, I have to wonder what your true allegiances and your true intentions are with him.
I think Fally's gonna kind of snap at him and say, "Look, I'm just trying to get home. That's the thing I care about most, and not. I understand you have a lot going on here. I'm just trying to get home, and I've promised Bileyg that I would help him, and I'm going to do that. But I want to get home. And it seems like you also want to lie to Bileyg, and so maybe." We just don't say anything, and I go home. You keep your house just quiet about it.
Wait, okay, so you're not actually here for Bileyg, you just want to get home, and you think that helping Bileyg will help you get home?
Is that not obvious?
Yes, but I thought I would give you the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know why you would do that.
You're a new person, why not? It's what Bileyg would do.
Fally just gestures to just around to Sigil and the hive.
So you... Okay. We'll shake on it. They extend a pseudopod. This is kind of a fucked up place. It is difficult to hold one's moralities in check. We both can admire Bileyg for doing his darndest, for trying to hold those moralities, but we can also agree that one must flex their moralities in order to make it in this kind of area.
Yes, I am beginning to come to that realization. And Fally sticks out his hand as well. Sort of.
Okay.
I don't think Fally knows how to shake a pseudopod, so he's sort of just like trying to grab onto part of it.
And you just kind of, your hand just kind of gets absorbed into the oozy mass.
Oh. Yes?
All right, well, I won't say anything if you won't say anything.
It's a deal.
All right. And with that, does anyone else have any other business they'd like to take care of?
This is not
how the
this is not how I expected the conversation to go. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I think the taste of the water is actually different when it comes straight from Oceanus than when I have to purify it before I make the tea in the morning. It's nice to not have to use the spell, but
Oh,
I don't know,
yes.
I almost like the tang from the dishwater.
Ingrid has lived in Sigil for many, many, many years, and so is very used to this event, and like has just rows and rows and rows of like bottles and barrels that she's been like periodically filling up, or like paying like a kid, like, hey, here's like a couple copper, will you go fill this up for me, and then bring it back.
1837, a nice good year for clean water.
Yes.
It had fish in it that year for some reason. Nobody knows why.
It's best to
That's
stock
just
up
a
now.
rare treat. It's a fresh fish.
The stuff that the clean water does for my hair that the ditch normally doesn't, it's, oh my gosh, it's outstanding. But it can be real expensive, so stock up now, Bileyg.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Ingrid, during these couple days, so you are having all of your various containers that you have stocked up refilled, sending various hive ward children to like go and fill it up for you.
Right along now.
when
Little
you,
street urchins.
Rapscallions,
Little
get
street
working.
urchins.
Oh, you got
Little
that,
boy,
you
mister,
guys?
where's my mum?
You send
Ew.
one particular ragamuffin away with a barrel on one of these mornings, and you feel behind you, there's like, the streets are crowded, but you still feel the kind of like thump, thump, thump of something heavy walking up behind you.
Oh dear.
And as you turn around, you see what looks like a ghoul. It's about 8 feet tall, but it's completely made out of stone. You recognize the bodyguard of Lothar the Old. This was the stone guardian that let you into the Bones of the Night, his little hideaway place, the one time you visited him. And this horrid-looking statue thing is clutching in its two big claws, two T-O-O, claws that are too big for it, this little envelope that it wordlessly extends to you.
Thank you, dear. Ingrid will think for herself, like, am I supposed to tip like the golems and undead? I cannot.
It's still standing there, so it's just kind of like glaring down at you.
Ingrid will like take the envelope and put a copper in its hand, and then like turn it to the side, looking at it, and then just open the envelope and start reading.
The copper rests in its hand. It just doesn't move at all. It's kind of spooky because it's got like gargoyle face going on, right? It's made out of stone. It can't emote, so it just has this kind of like snarl permanently etched on there, but it's not moving menacingly. It's just kind of gently swaying back and forth.
Right.
You open the letter and read. Inside it reads, Ingrid, I enjoyed our little chat the other day. I also enjoyed the little trick you pulled off during the chat. I knew I was dealing with a real blood, but I had no idea I was being made a coney all the while. No matter. I usually detest losing my precious toys and their secrets, but for you, I'm willing to make an exception. If you can repay me, of course. I'll look forward to whatever you come up with. Hopefully soon. I'd hate for Zadara to find out about this entire affair. Lothar. P.S. I've been having good conversations with my friend from the Loop. A great story indeed. I'd love to share it with you over some tea, if your payment is good, of course.
Right. I forgot that we stole from him.
Not this time.
I was gonna go.
He stole while you were all in the room with him.
Yes.
Well, technically, Nyx did the stealing, and they're an independent contractor, so.
Yeah.
So according to this pattern, the house is going to rise up against us next episode.
Hey,
Lothar
we're in the
is
final
not
stretch, baby. We gotta
explicitly
clean up all the
against
loose ends.
This is convenient because
Close all the circles.
I was going to go visit Lothar anyway, so now Ingrid has an excuse to do so.
There you go.
Oh,
All right. Is that something you want to do right now? And if so, do you want to take anyone with you?
I think if Ingrid gets this note, she'll just like poke her head in the office. I have to run an errand, Bileyg. I'll be back in a little bit.
All right,
And then
I'll
she'll
have a kettle hot for you.
walk down a couple feet, and then she'll pop her head back in. And if by any chance I'm not back in about 24 hours, if you could consider me a missing person and go looking, that'd be great. Ta-ta! And then I'll actually...
Oh, the usual standing orders, of course.
But like flips around the sign that's like, if not back in 24 hours, presume that I'm in trouble and come rescue
hourglass.
me. Yeah.
Flip it over.
Just every desk has one. We've got one on Ingrid's. The one on Everard's has been turned to missing, presumed in trouble for like weeks now.
Oobtaglor
There's
flips
cobwebs
it to,
gathering
it's been
on it.
0 days since we had to turn the 24-hour counter.
Fantastic. You make your way over to the ladies' ward, to the beautiful campus, the estate, I suppose, that is owned by Zadara, greeted by the sword archons that guard the gate, and let inside, brought to the bone. Actually, I suppose if you're going right now, you're escorted by the stone guardian.
Yes.
So you make your way back, and following him, there's like no conversation at the gate. The guardians, the archons, just kind of know what's going on here, and you enter into the house, brought back down into, opened into that cramped, horrid little room, and then taken down the stairs into the beautiful cellar that is stocked with all manner of lovely furnishings that have been scrounged up from the trash piles of Sigil. You see like also making tea, I guess it's that time of day. You see Lothar is over there and hears the Stone Guardian come in, looks, and then sees you behind and kind of gives brushes off, like has like some biscuit crumbs, some like little tea cookie crumbs, brushes off from the beard, and hurriedly like pulls down another cup. I'll be honest, I did not expect you to come right away, but what a pleasant surprise. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
And hurries over with a little, as fast as his old arthritis knees can take him, to you, and brings you a cup of tea.
I apologize for the earlier deception, dear. I assure you that my interest in your work was nothing but professional curiosity, but unfortunately, or perhaps as is the course, my business is knowing things and helping people find things, and the folks with me, well, they had something of yours that needed finding. I hope that I'm able to repay that, if I may.
Well, as I said, I normally would take exception, and I would have had my friend here dispatch of whoever stole, but I'd prefer to stay on good terms with you, so even though you have wounded me so, by stealing right out from under my nose, I'm hoping to leave it in the past if we could make good on the deal. As you said, you're a person who gets information, learns things. You're a detective and a secret finder, and I was hoping that you might be able to help replace what is now missing from my collection. Not specific, I'm sure that you have your reasons for taking what you stole, but it would certainly make me feel better if there was perhaps a new trophy upon my shelf that I might call upon for secrets. And he gestures to the myriad skulls that are on the shelves behind him that he speaks to learn the secrets of the dead. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I assume you either would like my skull or me to find a skull for you.
Yes, indeed. I mean, if you could find one, I would hate to to have to separate yours from your neck. That would be a true loss to the city of Sigil, I think. But if needs must, then I suppose that would also do.
Yes. Well, I would be curious if you had an individual in mind for the seeking out. I have perhaps a compelling argument for while I would be willing to part with my skull after I've made use of it, why it might benefit you to let me continue to use it for the time being. But if there's someone you had in mind, I would certainly be open to that.
Oh, I'd prefer, one, to not have to wait very long for your death, presumably, and two, for it to not have to be you. Like I said, if it needs must, the Sword Archons are more than capable, I believe. But as for who specifically, I leave that to you. I would not task you with anything that was too troublesome. There's any number of spies and agents among many different factions here. I'm sure that you can find someone suitably knowledgeable to take the place of the missing treasure.
Certainly. Just so that I can make the most informed decision, is there a particular gap in your collection you're looking to fill? Any sort of area of expertise that you'd be particularly interested in? Factions that have now gone that former members would round out the walls for?
Quite the opposite. I have many old skulls. As you can imagine, they do pile up. What I'm more interested in is perhaps someone who has been more recently or even presently active under one of the big names of Sigil. That sort of information goes a long way with Zadara herself, you understand, and knowing exactly the sort of happenings within the City of Doors.
I see. Well, I will give this some consideration. I do know many a faction. You also are in possession of information about a subject of, I believe, mutual interest to us. I'd be curious, any...
Do you refer to the loop?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I've had many great conversations with the individual who escaped. I'd be happy to regale them with you once our current debt is taken care of.
Very well. I'll see what I can do. I have some notes to reference in order to find a suitable client. May I? And I'll gesture towards the door.
I understand. This sort of thing can't be undertaken lightly. I understand. Oh, please, yes. If you're all done, takes your cup from you. I hope to see you again soon, in one piece.
Thank you, dear. I will. Well, one way or another, you'll have a skull. Either I'll fail in the attempt, in which case my skull is yours, or well, I'll find you someone else.
Perfect. It's a win-win.
Isn't it? And I'll just sort of start backing up towards the door.
Yeah. Yep, this super old, like, classic wizard dude. He's, like, fully bald on top, but, like, you know, the hair around the sides that's, like, a long and white, long beard. Like a classic old Merlin, except that he's just surrounded by so many decapitated heads. And you make your way back out into the ladies' ward. No problem.
Have the urchins returned with my various vessels of water?
Yes,
Excellent.
you return. The urchins continue to return. Is there anything else you'd like to take care of?
I have your bottle of water.
Wait, Mr. You dad.
Then let's continue on. So, question, Oobtaglor, during this time, have you been continuing to, like, we're about 4 to 5 days past the argument. During these couple days, have you been continuing to go to the gatehouse with Alphax?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Go ahead and make me a deception or persuasion check,
Okay.
just for your general demeanor.
21.
21. Fantastic. On a roll of not 21, but 20, so not meeting the DC, but close, you know Althax has you perform normal things that she has you help with, which is mostly she's tending to diseases and things like that, but she has you help with the odd injury magically, but mostly just has you, like, entertaining and being a fun person with the people who are seeking treatment here, because it's an extremely dour place to be. It's just like a bunch of rooms manned by a few people, so having any help is useful, and having someone who is performative and good spirits is worth its weight in gold. So she's extremely happy to have you here, and she does not call it out specifically, but you can tell that let me ask, are you spending perhaps more time here? Are your thoughts, like, drifting to the agency? Are you spending, like, time you normally spend there here? You're not, but, like, perhaps you're, like, conflicted about it, because she's extremely good at sensing not just, like, what's physically wrong with a person, but if someone, like, is emotionally distraught. Do you think that would come across at all from Oobtaglor?
I think the time that Oobtaglor would spend outside of the agency, just kind of busking outside the Civic Fest Hall, for instance, they are now utilizing that time to work at the gatehouse. So they're not trying to. Their goal wasn't to work at the gatehouse more than the agency or anything like that. But I would say that Althex does sort of get, like, a churning of emotions regarding, like, what it means to be a good person, and perhaps in a world where being a good person is kind of an uphill battle, this seems like a very easy to do good.
Fantastic. Yeah, she does not ask you. You gotta get the sense that perhaps she wants to ask you directly, but being a little unsure as she is, not quite certain. Instead, one of these days, she just says, "You know, Bileyg." Sorry, you're not Bileyg. You know, Oobtaglor. What? You know, Oobtaglor. It's been a real blessing to have you around helping with the patients these last few weeks. You know, they come in with all these sorts of ailments, and it's easy to treat the body, but often it's more difficult to treat the minds. And so to have someone who's performative, such as yourself, I think it does a lot of good for them, just to feel like they have a story to tell at the end of the day that isn't just about some horrible ailment or some gruesome injury that they had to limp themselves over here to get taken care of.
Well, I'm always happy to exert my services in this manner.
And we're always appreciative of it. There's a strange change in energy in general, because again, the gatehouse is very close to the ditch, so the fact that everything's been washed away, there are people coming in with, like, there's more people in this area, so there's more people coming in with, like, minor problems, but there's a lot fewer people coming in with, like, major problems, because there's just there's less discord in the city during these few days.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, anyone else, anything to take care of?
Probably stop by Undersigil at least one more time since then.
Fantastic. Yeah, you go and visit Undersigil. You already have a great relationship down there. Yeah. And do you take Fally with you, or is this kind of thing you're like, Fally's not ready for Undersigil?
I think that Fally might not be ready for Undersigil. The thing that Bileyg is trying to get Fally to internalize before doing any of this stuff is the hardest thing for anyone from Mount Celestia to internalize about Sigil, which is just because a person is an undead or a demon or some other thing that in Mount Celestia is kill on sight doesn't mean they're not a person here. You have to judge people based on their actions and whether they're immediately threatening you, not based on whether they set off your detect evil. And under Sigil kind of has a lot of things that set off the old paladin radar, so Bileyg is like, no, Fally's not ready for hard mode yet. But yeah, but he's gonna bring down some of the fresh water because I'm assuming it draining into under Sigil, it probably gets all mucky. But you know,
yeah,
couple buckets
it does
of
not
stuff.
make its way easily to under Sigil. Not just because the whole city of Sigil is physically impossible, and thus it's kind of hard to predict where water goes. You know, there's something spiritually about under Sigil that resists easily being reached by clean water. It's not just an act of physics and water flow; it's an act of like.
Active
ethical
malice
alignment.
on someone's part. Yeah.
You know.
It's impossible to be clean down here. It's like a demi-plane of grossness.
It's kind of like it's a very demi-plane of ooze, yeah. Or quasi-elemental plane. Whatever they are. Who can keep it all straight? Okay. Well, fantastic. As it is then, the days go by, and we find ourselves on a later afternoon, most of a week later. Fally, you've gotten to know the agency a little bit, and there have been some odd jobs, some minor theft sort of situations that need to be attended to, but they've all been handled. They've all been, the occasional
Drop my favorite
lost
ring down a well.
Yeah, exactly. The occasional like lost animal thing like that you are called upon. These are the sort of mundane day-to-day jobs that don't require that much adventuring, but you get to tag along and kind of see how each of the investigators operates when they're in the field. It is later on the fifth day here when the sun is starting to kind of dip down, or there's no sun. The light of day is starting to go away, and the excitement of the River Oceanus in the ditch is also kind of ebbed. There are still some people who are finding pools of fresh water, but they're mostly like puddles now, and the first elements of the algae, of the slime, are starting to creep back into the water, and the water level has been going down and down steadily, and you're starting to see the first bits of like broken wagon wheels and things like that are sticking out the bottom. So the ditch is quickly returning to its former glory. So there are still some people. It's still more crowded here than you would ever expect it to be on a normal day, but it's way past that like celebrating in the streets kind of vibe that you had. And as some people are making their way, they've probably just gotten off of work here in the lower ward. They're going to go like try to get the last bits of fresh water that they can. And you have kind of like, you know, the door propped open. You hear a voice out on the street that's shouting, "Excuse me, move, rabbit coming through, get the fuck out of the way." And you see two long rabbit ears poking up, and a character who you've met before, Lags, who is a Harangon like Evrard, but he is one of the Knights of the Post, which all of you except for Fally. So Fally, you see this rabbit dude, so he's probably about like, he's about your height, he's about dwarf height, the ears come up a little higher, and he's wearing what looks like a nice uniform with this little badge on it, and he's got like a sack on his side, and comes in and says, "I've got a message for I'm not reading the rest of that."
Oobtaglor? Sorry, I didn't recognize
It's
it with the
two O's?
truncation.
Two O's?
Yes.
All right, that's all there is then. Hands you the letter.
Okay. I open it.
Okay, he's just currently standing there in the room, looking around. The letter
I
reads,
give him a gold.
"Thank you very kindly. Good day, sir," says to Fally. Fally, what's your passive perception?
13.
13? Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's against saves. Never mind. Yeah.
What do you have on your person? So I know you have your staff.
Oh my goodness.
I've got a sending stone, I've got a staff, I've got my sigil of helm, I've got ingredients for a microbrewery, kind of about it.
How much gold do you have on your person?
20 gold pieces.
From
Okay,
the 2
if you
platinum you got like 3 days ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could please just mark 10 gold pieces on your...
Oh.
Fally's not going to notice for a
Way
bit.
beat the passive perception there. Lags, good day, walks back out the door. Oobtaglor, you open the note, and it says, Oobtaglor, we have another case that defies expectations. Another ailment that resists normal methods of cure. I fear the need of open and shut once again.
From Alphax.
Alphax.
I go and I read the letter to the rest of the group.
Ah, well, we should not delay. We know how quickly the last chaos phage worked.
Oof.
Turn to Fally. The gatehouse is a house of healing in the city, and previously we helped with a mysterious ailment. We tracked down the source so that they could create a cure for it. So I presume this will be something similar based on the letter. But if you're not up to date on anything, now's a good time to, take some vitamin C and get ready. Go to business.
Some what?
Like oranges and stuff. What do you think? Vitamins don't
Vitamin
exist
C
in the
is short for
fantasy
celestial.
world?
Ah, right, yeah.
You think nutrition is just not a thing?
I think in a fantasy world it's probably a little bit of a different shape.
Fantastic. All right, you guys all gonna go. Agni is just arriving. It's getting late, like I said, so Agni is arriving now for the night watch, and starts to arrive. Sees all of you going out in a hurry. He goes, is something going on?
We've got a case. Could you just keep an eye on the place and then lock up in an hour or two?
This late at night? Certainly. We got it covered.
Thank you, dear. The coffee is
We.
particularly
I
good.
did realize he said we. I meant I.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Sorry. I realize
We're
that sometimes,
suspicious. Clues everywhere.
sometimes Austin just messes up and that becomes suspicious, but that's just Austin making mistakes because he's a human man. You got it, boss. Goes inside and starts to turn down lamps and
This is
things
actually
like that.
where we
pull
got
the shade.
Agni from, is this last time we had this happen.
Yes, this is where you found Agni was in the gatehouse. You hurry over the bridge as the last light is starting to leave the city. You see the last dregs of people down there standing on pallets, scooping water out and then skimming some muck off the top, just trying to get the last bits.
I really hope
Probably
they
gonna have
boil
to
that
be
after they
boiled,
get
but
it
it's
home.
fresher
Yeah.
than normal. You make your way over through and to the gatehouse. The gatehouse, Fally, you haven't been here before, but it is an enormous building that belies the fact that it is mostly empty. It's this huge kind of half dome. It's like a dome kind of thing with these long curling arches all around, and some of the arches don't quite complete, they are just kind of ribs sticking out of the ground. So it's pretty intimidating, which is compounded by the fact that it's mostly empty. So when you open the doors to get in, there's a big hall that is basically empty and you can hear your footsteps. It's also what betrays you to, as all of you walk into this building, it's what betrays you to the fact that there are people oncoming, because you can hear their footsteps. You hear 2 regular shoed feet, and then you hear 4 hooves, which is of course Alphax. Alphax is a barrier, which is like a centaur, but instead of horse, goat. And Fally, you'd be super familiar with them because they're a quasi-celestial being. So you've definitely seen these things before. So yeah, you see Alphax, who is goat centaur, following what looks like an Eladrin woman. So she's a seasonal elf, and right now she's kind of in fall. She's got lots of there's definitely the reds and yellows, but a lot of browns. Kind of looks like she's turning fall to winter-esque in her skin tone, in her hair that is hair-like and also kind of stiff like a dead leaf in a lot of places, and she's got a big kind of coat on, arms around her, and she is currently shouting at Alphax and saying, "You're supposed to be able to help. If you can't help, what good are you? I'm not staying for you to fuss over me." And you hear Alphax saying, "It's not that simple. Things like this get far more complicated. Normally, yes, I'm able to take care of things with just a mere spell, but thank you. Oobtaglor, these are the people I was telling you about. The investigators are able to help me in cases like this, such in the past. Please, just hold on a moment." And you see, this sick Eladrin woman looks at this group of people, sizes up these random 4 people, and then is just going to keep walking away as Alphax is following after her. "You need treatment. You need help. And I can't get it here." And she's just going to keep walking.
Whoa, hold on. before you leave, why don't you at least give us a chance? The gatehouse is your best bet for getting healed, and, you know, we have patients. We have someone who can attest to the veracity isn't the right word. We have someone who can attest to the effectiveness of their work, especially in tight deadlines.
Go ahead, Oobtaglor, make me a persuasion check, but I'd like you to make it at disadvantage against an extremely distraught person who's not really listening to reason right now.
Does she have any, like, physical symptoms that we can tell just from, like, looking at her?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Sure.
For everyone?
I will allow, yes, 2 people can make perception checks if you like, or 1 person can make... There's not really a help action with this, so 2 people can make perception checks if they'd like.
That's a 15
Right,
for
I had to
Ingrid.
use 2.
15 for Ingrid. Fally, did you also want to make one?
Sure, it was a 14.
Okay.
I had to use 2 of my luck, but I got a 25.
Woo!
Did you tell me you used 2 of your luck?
I rolled a 2 twice.
Oh. I think if you roll the same number again, the second luck should be free.
I think if you roll 1, you should go, man, I should probably save these lucks. But, you know what? That's just one man's opinion. You see that she's not listening to reason, but a strong force of personality is enough to kind of cause her to stop. And she says, attest all you want. You say that this is my best... Sorry. Oh, thanks. Austin is not on his game tonight with voices and names.
You're good,
You
man.
say this
You're
is
good.
my
You got
best
this.
bet? Well, they've tried. I came here because they said this was the place where everyone gets helped. They help anyone that comes through the door, and she did her best, and I appreciate that, but it didn't work. So, on to the second best bet, I guess.
Oh no, is that
That's
the
the
organ
bet.
legging
Oh my
place?
god.
That would be us. We are the second best. We are the ones who the gatehouse calls when there is a we are the ones that the gatehouse calls upon when there is an ailment that needs solving. So please, why don't you help us and help any others who might have the similar predicament as you, and tell us what's going on.
She considers, she looks back and forth. She goes... she looks over at Althax, and Althax says, please, if you're given the information, at least let them hear you out, and then you can make a decision on what you want to do. She goes, okay. I don't know what caused it. All I know is it started with a little cough a couple days ago, a little chill. I didn't think that I would be turning to autumn so soon, but I am. And now almost winter. And you see she pulls... I'm sorry. On the 15 from Ingrid was enough. So you spotted this to begin with, but she reveals now to the party that along her neck is... It looks like her veins, but... You know, a lot of times, like, if there's, like, veins might stand out as, like, dark-colored or something like that. It's very strange, because against her skin, her veins are standing out as white. It kind of looks like a white network that's kind of stretched partially up the side of her neck.
Austin, if this is fungus again, I swear to
Someone
Christ.
put the plane of ice into the water supply. I'm calling it now.
She just reveals this. It doesn't itch, it doesn't hurt, but I've never seen anything like it before. I came here to have it restored, to have myself restored, and that didn't work, so I will find someone who can take care of it.
That would be us. Why don't you
Are
tell
you
us...
medical practitioners?
Well, one of us is a cleric.
Do you think you can fix it?
Yes. Well, I can certainly try. We can try, yes. Would you like to describe your symptoms and when they first started in greater detail than you have just done?
She goes to describe basically just that it was the evening, gives you a little more specifics on it, the evening a couple days ago, and that, yeah, it was a light cough, and it just like wouldn't seem to go away, like a little tickle in the throat. Throat didn't hurt or anything, just a light cough. And then again, the chills, which led her to turn to Autumn like kind of suddenly. It's normally more of an emotional state. It's not a thing that you can like force an Eladrin to go through, right? It's a normal emotional process to go through, and it affects their feelings while they're doing it. And this seems kind of like, to her description, it seems rapid and unexpected. And then she noticed the let's call it rash, the white rash. She noticed it earlier today and thought it was nothing, starting on her shoulder, and now it's on her neck.
I would also ask if she's changed up anything, like has she eaten anything unusual? Has she traveled anywhere unusual? Where is she normally located?
Did you
in
get
the city?
any water from the ditch as it's been in the new state all week?
I was gonna say, like, I don't want to metagame, but like the big change that just happened might have had a factor in this, you know?
Yeah, so you ask about where she's from. She works in is it Clerk's Ward technically? The Clerk's, I can never remember, some things have changed about the city since originally. She works in the, it's the Clerk's Ward. She works in the Clerk's Ward, and she lives like on the edge of the Clerk's Ward and the Market Ward. So that's pretty nice. That's not too bad, right? It's not the Ladies' Ward, which is where all the extremely wealthy people like Zadara live, but it's certainly better than the lower ward and the like little apartments there. So, clearly that there's, it's not too bad. And yeah, she says that her routine has been normal, but you ask about the ditch, she's like, yeah, of course I've been to the ditch. Everyone in Sigil has been to the ditch. She's like, I've been twice in the last 4 days.
Yeah.
Have there been... I turn to Alphax when I ask this. Has there been anyone else who's come forward with this type of ailment?
None so far, thank goodness.
I assume you've tried the standard forms of restoration, diagnosis.
Restoration, cure disease, yeah. Neither of them seem to be functioning. It's not unlike the last scenario we had, where it was the sunflies.
Are there perhaps any people you know who we should check to see if they have been afflicted similarly after you've seen them? I'm trying to get it. Does she know anyone else who might have these symptoms? And do you think, is there anyone who's might have developed these symptoms that she just hasn't checked?
You ask if she has known anyone else who's sick, and she lets you know that she doesn't know anyone else who's exhibited any of the symptoms, but they were also pretty mild until today. She hasn't asked. She hasn't noticed a rash on anyone. She hasn't heard anyone coughing or like getting chills. But again, the changes are more noticeable in her because she has a literal physical manifestation of her body that's going along with it. So to her, viewing her, it's more severe. But she says that she doesn't know anyone, and she does live alone, so she doesn't have anyone she lives with. She works at the Hall of Records, and she says that she doesn't know anyone at work who is sick either.
And thus far, it's just been something weird is happening. She's not in much discomfort. It's just something is clearly happening, and it's happening quickly.
Yeah, the most discomforting thing is the chills that she describes, and the changing quickly.
Yeah.
Like if your hair suddenly was going gray over the course of 3 days, you'd be like, I'm not uncomfortable, but I probably need to see a doctor about this. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Well, that's just about all the diagnostic tools I got. I think we're going to need to start investigating, retracing her steps.
Did she say where she worked? I know you said it was in the clerk's ward, but did she list
Hall of Records?
Hall of Records, okay.
Hall of Records.
Yep, Hall of Records. You have been there once before.
Yeah.
You begin to kind of talk among...
sorry.
Is
AFAX still there? Can we ask...
Alphax is still there, yeah.
What happens when... Yeah, it's like... So what happens when restoration is being cast? Is there anything on your side that would indicate something strange is going on?
There seems to be a small reaction at first, and then it just resumes exactly how it is, not 3 moments later. there's definitely the want for the restorative magics to be working, for the divine magic to be working, but there's a hearty resistance against it.
Can I just...
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really rules as written. Can I divine sense to see if there's any aura of, like, undeath or
That's pretty good.
celestial or fiendness on this Eladrin who would otherwise not have any of that? Sweet.
Yeah, give me one. Yeah. You all right? You go ahead, use that ability. I'm gonna look up the wording to see.
I can just read it out loud if you want.
Yeah, actually, that'd be awesome. Please.
Yeah, oh, hold on. There's got, like, the normal description and then the flowery one. Till the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity. You also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
How to adjudicate this? You use your divine sense, and I it's been a while. So why don't you describe what does your divine sense look like when it goes off?
It's not too flashy. It's an entirely internal perception thing. So Bileyg's pupils just kind of shine like gold coins for a second.
Fantastic. The pupils go gold, and the whole room to you seems to fade away. Like just anyone looking at you just sees you being, almost like you've zoned out for just a half a second. Nothing extreme, but everything else to you seems to kind of fade away into like silhouette. I'm thinking like it's almost like the Batman Arkham game, like detective vision kind of thing, where an unconscious person is just kind of blue and it blends into the background. But for just this half moment, you do see that it's a disease, so it does not proc any like creature type things. But the closest sense I'll give is that it does feel desecrated. It does feel like there's a desecration going on here. Like inside of this woman's, which by the way, her name is Celinda. That is Celinda.
Would this be familiar to Fally specifically from something he may have encountered in the records on Mount Celestia recently?
Go ahead. Roll me your record check, and so that's going to be investigation. But because of your record keeping past, you roll these with advantage.
Ooh, 14. 14.
I mean, it does feel kind of familiar with something that you have read before, but the details aren't specific enough, right? There's just that divine resistance that's kind of procking in your head right now about like that is similar. But you also know that was just brought up. Alphax was like, one time we had that problem, and I hired all these guys to figure out why it wouldn't work, and then we were able to fix it. So there is that connection, but I don't know if the specificity of it is alarming. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perhaps something demonic or devilish if it's so resistant to celestial aid, or...
It does feel a little bit unholy. Not demonic, but a lack of holiness. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it.
Necromantic, perhaps?
Yeah.
It could be, but I'd sense undead.
Desecration is a very specific, weird... It's kind of all those things and kind of not all those things. It's a specific... There is, a mechanic for it in the game, but it's a specific tarnishing something to make it less potent or more potent in certain ways. So, in this case, desecration, tarnishing something to make it less... holy things less potent to it, and unholy things more potent to it, right? There's that sense. You ask your questions, and like you said, Bileyg, you start to come to kind of like the end of the natural question asking cycle. You might still have more questions, feel free to ask them. But as just the vibe of you finished asking questions begins to wrap up, you see that Celinda says, "You say that they're good?" And she looks at Alphax, and Alphax says, "I wouldn't have called them if I didn't trust them to take care of this exact sort of thing." She says, "Okay, I'm not staying here, but you know where to find me." and she's going to walk out of the gatehouse right now.
Okay.
I don't think that's the best decision, but...
Well, her implication is that she's going home, right?
Yeah, no,
that she's not going to someone else right now. That Oobtaglor's stupendous persuasion check was able to convince her to at least hear you guys out. But she's like, well, if I have to just wait, I'm not going to wait in this scary hospital. You know?
We gotta get some, like, festive colors up around here. Maybe some flowers.
I've been saying that for the longest time.
All right, well, I'm already working 18 hours a day trying to see the people who are unhealthy, so...
No, certainly not you, Alpex.
If you're willing to volunteer, then...
Well, you know.
Well, it sounds like we've got a
right.
mystery illness to track down. It sounds like she hasn't really been anywhere except for her home and the Hall of Records recently. Hall of Records is actually across
And
the
the
street
ditch.
from the office of the Planar Trade Consortium, so at least we have an inn of sorts. In the ditch.
Yeah, I think we should stop by retracing her steps, see if we can spot anything that seems unusual.
I do as well. Do we want to...
I mean, the ditch is really close.
It's true, yeah.
Do we want to divide and conquer at all, or are we just going to all go together?
Right now it kind of seems like we can just trace a route that just kind of follows the route that she would have taken, and
Sure.
I don't really see us needing to divide and conquer for that.
Then, all together. Could you alert us as soon as anyone else with any similar symptoms arrives? It would be helpful to be able to identify if there's been a commonality in the previous movements, should it happen. Hopefully.
He's hoping we can
Trust
figure
me,
this
any
out before
information,
that
you'll be the very
happens.
first to know.
Thank you.
I want you to have all the information you can in order to help solve this.
Thanks.
It's only one person. Hopefully it will only stay one person, but I'd hate for it to end with one person. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
All right.
Dark.
You all exit out. She hurries off to go help with other patients. And as you're heading out, you're formulating where you're going to go, like retrace the path to, like maybe retrace her steps throughout the day where she's been recently, the very few places. And as you do, you see either a red dragonborn, you see, God damn it, what's his name?
Esteban?
Running up the steps. Agni.
Agni?
No, Agni.
Agni. Oh.
You see, Esteban is an Oni. He's a big ogre.
I was
you see
thinking of
Agni is
Lazaro, and I was
running
like,
up the
who would be
steps,
with Lazaro?
2 at a time. He's totally out of breath. And he... boss.
Whoa, easzy.
Okay.
Take a breath,
Guys.
big man.
Stops. Pulls out fresh water from a little wineskin. Drinks. Oh, God. All right. Bosses, I'm so sorry. We got a problem. All right. You remember that dwarf I saw the other day?
Painfully, yes.
Yeah, the suspicious. No, sorry, not you. The suspicious one, not the friendly one, but the weird
yeah.
one. Just staring at, just sweeping the soot, all suspicious like. All right. Well, they were staring at the window. You guys left. I was darkening the lights. They were staring. They just kept staring and staring. I like walked out of the way, like hide, and they were just staring through the window, like they was waiting for something. So I opened the door. I went out. I was, like, hey, why are you staring at us? What's all this about? And they saw me coming, and they ran. They just, like, took off. So I chased them a few blocks, right? And then I think, wait, what am I doing? My whole job is supposed to be watching the place. So we're, like, 3 blocks away. I stop. I run back fast as I can. But, boss, I'm sorry. The place is a mess. It's someone was in there. It's been ransacked. It's been tossed. I don't know. There's books all over the ground. The dwarf got me, boss. I'm sorry. I thought it was... I look like such a Burke.
No, good
And it starts to,
instincts, Agni.
kind of have a breakdown a little bit.
Whoa,
I had one
easy,
job.
easy.
They made me make a real mess of it.
It's all right, big man. It's all right. Take a couple more breaths. We'll figure this out.
I think they stole something, but I didn't know what. I didn't touch nothing. I know that's how you guys would go through, pick everything apart, figure out maybe what they were after or something like that. I left it all as it was, and I locked the door.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll stop them. They got in. They could be back there right now, all I know.
You did the right thing, dear, by coming to tell us and not touching anything.
Yes.
Thank you. Please, take take a break. You'll be safe here at the gatehouse for a while if you'd like to wait or return to the office. I must.
What was that we said about not dividing and conquering? No, I think we can divide and conquer.
I don't know what to. I'm not. Sorry, go on.
I am deeply concerned about our office. We have made some powerful enemies over our time, but I would be remiss if I did not consider the potential time pressure of our current client's situation. To that end, do we wish to attempt to use all of our resources towards the case at hand and continue on tracing these steps, or would we like to divide and see what is missing from the office?
Well, if this is some kind of unhallowing situation, Fally and I might have some luck just trying to retrace the steps, seeing if anything pops up. And to be honest, I think your detective work might be a little bit better used in the enclosed office, where I'm pretty sure you'll be able to immediately figure out what's gone missing, whereas I would not be able to do that, so.
Very well. Oobtaglor, where would you like to go? I'll return to the office. Fally and Bileyg will take to following our client's route. While I'm at the office...
Well, not to volunteer, Fally. You can go wherever you'd like, of course, but...
No, I'll go with you, Bileyg. Let's take to the streets.
All right.
I will go with Ingrid, so as not to leave her alone, and that splits the party quite evenly.
Very well.
Okay. Agony is like, I'm not gonna stay here now. Like, I left my post and it was a big problem, and I've just left it a second time. I'm gonna come back with you guys.
Certainly.
So, all right, we're splitting up. Two of you heading back to the office. Ingrid and Oobtaglor are heading back to the office. Bileyg and Fally are heading. Where are you gonna start?
I think we want to start. I want to start in the vicinity of the ditch because, in my mind, I'm thinking. Infection vector, the place where absolutely everybody was bumping elbows for 40 minutes at a time.
The most notable thing that's happened in the city in the last week.
Most notable thing that's happened. So and then I think the vicinity of where she works in the clerk's ward, but my guess is if we find anything, it's going to be in the zone of the ditch. Whichever of her walking routes that took her over the ditch, that would be whichever bridge she was crossing.
Yeah.
Can we?
I can probably look
do
that
we
up.
know
There's
if
go on.
Ingrid's urchins are conscriptable?
They could be,
because they've been going in and out, and they have been actively fetching water from many different locations.
Yes, this is true.
For the past couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely.
If any of them have taken a little ill.
Have I maintained a network of Sherlock Holmesian urchins at my
little newsboys?
Yeah,
I thought it was just the black lung, mister.
The Sigil Street Irregulars.
Yeah.
Gramercy Street is right there. Gramercy Street Irregulars.
Incredible.
There you go.
Yeah. The nearest, the one that makes the most sense for her to have been crossing, and the one nearest to you, and also the Alley of Dangerous Angles, where the where Open and Shut is located, is a Zadfum Trestle. So that's the bridge that you are always going over.
Cool.
So you guys are going to head there?
Yes.
Okay. And the other two are going to head back. Just to get an angle on your approach here, when you arrive at the ditch, what are you looking to do? Because you arrive, the other two leave you behind, heading off to where they're going to go, and you're standing on this bridge overlooking the rapidly decreasing level of water in front of you. That's, at this point, 40 feet down below the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, my only real angle of approach right now is to try and do a little more divine sensing. I can only do it 4 times per long rest, but...
it's still a lot of times for a resource that isn't a spell slot.
It's not too bad. But just to get kind of a feel of, is there some kind of, ambient, weird bullshit here, or is there something in the water that I can get a feel for? Does it feel like I can feel it in more passersby or something like that? I don't know. It's a 60-foot radius, so
Yeah, 60-foot radius is pretty big. You're probably going to have to... Right now, the 60-foot radius is just going to catch some of that water. So, I imagine you probably want to head down closer.
I would want to go down closer to the water, yeah.
And, so Bileyg's angle to head down closer to the water. Fally, what are you looking to do?
So Fally technically works at like the Mount Celestia DMV record keeping department.
Yeah, you're very good at like reading through records and things like that.
Yeah, I think that like he also talks to the public in that capacity, but like in that very, very limited capacity. So absent any like public health department to appeal to, I think Fally is going to take out a notebook of some kind, and following along behind Bileyg, say, like approach people he sees kind of in that vicinity, and say, "Hello, I am conducting a public health survey on behalf of the gatehouse. Due to the recent changes within the ditch, would you mind answering a few questions?" And run through like a couple of questions about any health outcomes, and then ask if they like have you experienced any strange rashes, any urges to howl at the moon, any unexpected seasonal changes.
This is just like a stock questionnaire that you had on hand.
The first person you stop is a literal werewolf, and he's like,
Do you even have a moon in Sigil?
No, I don't believe there is.
Can werewolves even transform in Sigil?
Lycans can kind of transform. They have to transform certain times, but they can also like go hybrid in and out at will. So
last episode we ruled
Also
on
means
how
non-magical
vampires
weapon
function
damage.
in a city with no sun, and this episode we rule on how werewolves function in a city with no moon.
It's important to get these things down on paper.
Next time, the Invisible Man.
Next time, the Invisible Man.
Can you still
All
use
right.
paint at a guy?
We are going to go to open and shut, but very quick, I want to get those rolls from Fally and from Bileyg. So I'm going to need a persuasion check from Fally, and Bileyg heading down and looking around. Either you can spend a chunk of time investigating or perceiving, or you can just roll a luck check to see if you're close enough to something right now, and that would be like an immediate kind of like, you know, do you want to spend a use of it and just be like, maybe there's something right here, and we'll roll a luck check and see what you get.
I'll take my chances with my slightly subpar perception, just to see if anything pops up.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So let me get persuasion and then perception from the both of you. And by the way, Ingrid, we didn't bring it up, but you do have that sending stone to
to Thane.
that has a 5% chance of working, and you've had 4 days if you want to have tried that at all.
I would. I was gonna at the end of the episode ask to try that out. Do you want to just do all that at the end? See if I succeeded.
Yeah. Why don't we roll at the end of the episode? We will roll for the several days that have elapsed.
Awesome.
And you'll have several chances, and then we'll just narratively play it out as it happens afterwards.
Sounds great.
But I want you to have those options. Sorry. All right. So from Fally, what was the persuasion?
15.
15.
Nice.
And Bileyg?
My perception was an 11.
Okay. Fantastic. So with that, as you go to begin your investigations, it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to go over to open and shut instead. You see that the place is exactly as Agni described it being left. The curtain is pulled down, the lights are all dimmed inside, and he goes and uses his key, unlocks it, kind of when he sees that it's still locked and hasn't been either broken into or just pickpocketed, lockpicked. Sighs, opens it to let you guys in.
Thank you, dear. Quickly looking around, I'd like to check for traps.
Yeah, absolutely. You walk inside, Oobtaglor follow. You don't need to check for traps. The first thing that worries you is that the door is shut behind you and locked.
Oh my god! What are we doing?
Yeah.
And you turn to see, let's go ahead and show you. You see the inside of Open and Shut as you know it, except standing across the room, all the way near the back where the coffee table next to Ingrid's desk is. You see that You see that there is, first off, an unconscious Agni lying on the ground.
Here I was being like, at least they have a big, strong guy with them.
Shmeshka's coming to get us.
You see that there is a woman standing there who looks like she is humanoid shaped and built, except that she looks like she is made out of like pointy rusted metal. And I think that
Labeling.
Oobtaglor has seen this person before in the back rooms behind Shemeshka's gambling hall.
Yeah, this feels like a backrooms ass kind of thing to be dealing with, doesn't it?
You see Adamak Iban, who is
Adamak.
she's from Acheron. She's from the war plane, the endless battlefield. That's like her native. That's where her people are from. So she looks like she's like twisted metal and like she's organic, but she has like bits of metal and like she's spiky and kind of armored naturally. She is standing over the unconscious Agni. She is holding a candle, which she is holding over a pile of oiled rags on the floor, connected by a trail of oil to 2 other piles of rags. And as you walk in, she goes, "Damn, only 2. I was hoping this would at least be interesting, but the Preorder says the meddling's to come to an end." She sheds her coat. You see, she says, "The Preorder says the meddling's to come to an end." She sheds the coat. She drops the candle, which hits the first pile of rags, goes up in flames. The flames spread along the trails of oil to the 2 other rags. And I'm going to need you both to roll initiative for me.
Oh my god, what's happening?
Oh no.
If this is about us not catching
we're on,
that
like-
infiltrator at the Fortune's Wheel some time ago, this is a bit of an extreme reaction, is it not? No?
I don't think that's going to work
Fuck.
here, Oobtaglor.
All the chickens are coming home to roost.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have some initiative going on here. We've got no Fally in the fight. We've got no Bileyg in the fight.
Yeah, rub it in,
We're on
right,
a
don't
fishing
ya?
trip.
We're having a great time. Me and Dog are just chilling by the water's edge, looking around.
We're bonding. It's great.
Let's
Taking a
go
nice
ahead
little
and
survey
roll.
of the people on the bridge.
Let me see. So, is that a 21 and an 18?
Yes, it is.
Oh, get the hell out of there. Dive out of that window, baby
This
girl.
is my
Get out of
favorite
there.
terrain.
Pretty good.
We can't leave Agni.
Well, dive out through the window and then get him afterwards and throw him out through the window. Dive through the
Fantastic.
window,
So-
Agni first.
So, we have first up, there's 21 initiative. We have Ingrid.
Teehee.
There is Oobtaglor at 18. All the way down at 5 is Adamak Iban. Right now, Agni is unconscious, and thus I will not roll any initiative for him. The fire spreads on initiative count to 0. You can use an action to snuff 1 5 by 5 foot square of fire. If you have some other creative way to put it out, you could also do some other creative way to put it out. If you have a spell or something, that would work. Otherwise, it's 1 action to put out 1 5 by 5 foot square. They spread on initiative count 0, and entering a square of fire will cause you to take 1d6 points of fire damage.
Point of order is I don't know if you actually describe this. Is the agency actually in shambles, or was that a ruse?
Oh, no, there's no papers or anything on the ground. Everything is
Okay.
pristine in order, except for these piles of rags and papers that have been gathered up and oiled to
Wait,
light.
then what the
Understood.
fuck was up with Agni? What's going on here?
It was the dwarf with the hat of
Dwarf with the hat of
disguise.
disguise.
Oh, so Agni's just been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Agni is unconscious on the ground next to the burning pile of paper.
Oh, I thought she, like, Vulcan neck pinched him or something as soon as you came in. This makes more sense.
Nope, yep, he's just been lying there unconscious.
Well, shit.
Well, on initiative count 21, Ingrid, what would you like to do?
Yes. So we just spent an extensive portion of this session talking about how I specifically saved a bunch of water. I specifically collected and gathered a bunch of
True.
water, and I live at the shop, so theoretically that's all here, right? Like, I haven't put that away in storage.
You know what?
Signs ass
Theoretically,
plot
it
twist.
is all there. I'm going to say there is a lot of water present. It's, I think, explicitly in lots of different containers. But if you can come up with some creative way to make use of that, let's go ahead and rule that the waters are basically stored either on the table up over here in the top left, which is where you make tea and coffee and things like that, or in and around your desk, because they are your containers of coffee. So, of water. So,
Some of it's become coffee.
take that as you will.
Awesome.
Just swing a baseball bat through it. Splatter it.
Yeah, you know how when you just You just kind of splash water at fire, it goes out.
Yeah, that's the spirit. It recognizes your warrior spirit and surrenders out of honor.
Yeah, can you intimidate the fire?
Yeah, maybe if you make an
try to roll,
insight check on the
intimidation check
fire.
against fire.
Yeah, insightful fighting the fire.
So I'd like to. Ingrid's not even gonna look at Oobtaglor and just be like, "Secure Agni. I'll take care of the fire." And then I'm going to bonus action dash so I can get up on top of my desk. If there is a large enough container of water, I would love to perhaps use an action to arc it about to sort of attempt to get 2 fires for the cost of 1, using my gathered resources and connections with the urchins that have been providing me with so many vessels.
Okay. Just using an action, I'm gonna say that with the water, you can, at range, put out a fire. So normally you have to go over and, like, stamp it out. Mm-hmm. With the water, I'm gonna say from anywhere, let's say within 20 feet of a fire, you can splash it to put out 5 squares. But unless you're going to magically enchant, if there's some character ability or some spell that would let the water be in 2 places at once, that would let you do that. Otherwise, I'm going to say it's still your whole action to slosh a shit ton of water, enough to put out a burning pile of, like, one of the, there's like a pile of hay over here that they've gathered that has gone up, you know.
Yes.
With the bucket of water, you're able to do it at range, but it's still going to take you an action to clear just a 5 foot by 5 foot square of it without some other spell ability changing that.
Yes. What size would you describe the fires as currently?
They're currently medium.
Okay, so not a small campfire.
I would say that is small campfire size. If you have something that says it extinguishes a small campfire, I would say that is...
Prestidigitation can instantaneously snuff out a small campfire. So,
Nice.
Okay, I would say, I mean, that's your action. I think that's a reasonable usage of prestidigitation.
Sure, I will adjust my placement.
God, it would have been funny if you could snuff out her oily like her torch before she even got started. She's like, not so fast.
I know.
Held action, baby.
I will. Ingrid will jump up on the desk and, like,
I didn't think of that.
Ready a hand on a water container next to her just in case. But in the interim, I'm going to go for this fire right here and prestidigitate that bad boy out.
Okay. You prestidigitate, and as it is just starting to flare, you know, if you did this anything more than 6 seconds later, it'd probably be too late. But within those first 6 seconds, you see it starting to flare up and collapses out as you cast prestidigitation.
Yeah, and I'll, like, heel turn and keep an eye on the other 2 fires, trusting Oobtaglor will be taking care of the blade demon, or at least distracting them from Agni for now.
Okay, that is your turn. You have any bonus actions?
I dash to get up to the desk.
Oh, you are correct. Oobtaglor, that is you.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Bonus action, I will inspire Ingrid.
Thanks, buddy.
You're the top. You're your agent's best call. You're the top. You're the civic fest hall. You're a melody full of empathy divine. You're a Snakespeare sonnet. You're always on it. You're the finest wine. You're so wise.
Keeps going.
You're the prime ideal. You're a prize on the fortune's wheel. I'm a measly thing, a broken string, pure slop. But if Ingrid, I'm the bottom, you're the top.
Beautiful.
I'm sure
It's an
that
actual
was part
song
of the
from Anything
original
Goes.
lyrics.
Don't get your
No.
mind in the gutter.
I didn't say shit, man.
And for my action, I've never gotten the chance to use this, but I am now. I'm going to cast Hold Person.
Nice.
Oh shit. Okay. That is a wisdom saving throw?
It is.
Okay. This character has nothing to their wisdom, so I'm going to roll a d20. We're looking for what DC?
15.
Yeah!
That is a 6.
Suffer!
On a 6, they will use one of their 2 legendary resistances to save.
God damn
Hey,
it.
we can't
Weak.
silvery barb the
Alright.
legendary resistance, can we?
No, you can let her re-roll that 6 if you want.
No.
You see that as you cast it, the metal starts to like come together, and she shrugs it off. Something about her already being like kind of stiff and statue-like nature. She resisted your paralytic magics.
I miss heat metal. I miss having the
I got
heat
more where
metal
that came
spell.
from, and I will go and I'll use my 30 movement to rush to Agni and just kind of like check on him.
He's unconscious.
Okay.
Sweet.
I used all my movement, so I can't drag him out of there.
Get a hold
Correct.
of yourself,
Fire is right
man.
next to him.
Splap.
It is Adamoc's turn. Adamok
shit.
is going to, you know what? What are we holding on to the big guns for something else? Come on, let's use them now. You watch as Adamok pulls her arm back, and all of the like shrapnel on her body like kind of like moves onto her arm and becomes this like kind of like big like collection of like blade, like broken blade pieces almost. And it gets like too heavy for her, kind of falls down, and then she flings her arm around, and it goes in a shrapnel spray in a 30-foot cone. So we're going to be able to hit Ingrid and Oobtaglor. Could I get you guys both to make dexterity saving throws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a dirty 20 for Ingrid.
Okay, that'll save.
7. I'm using my luck.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, 7 fails.
11.
Could I give
11 fails.
Oobtaglor the inspiration that they just gave me?
Oh, I do have DM inspiration.
Oh, you have DM
yes.
inspiration. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a D8 right now if you want to roll it.
Yeah, so what is that, 11 I said?
11, yeah.
17.
17 will save. Okay. So what would have been 6, 12, 16, 18, 19 piercing damage instead goes down to 9 piercing damage
Okay.
to each of you. This also decreases her AC by 2 and turns off her Whirling Blade feature, which you don't know what that does, until the start of her next turn.
Excellent.
So there's like physically fewer blades on her?
Yeah, she is like currently, now she looks kind of like a normal person, but you see they're starting to peek back through slowly.
Ooh.
This was
Ew.
her shrapnel blast.
Very Wolverine-esque.
And she is going to jump up on the desk over Oobtaglor here. All right, that ends her turn because that's like her big thing that she gets to do. Cool. We're going to go to initiative count 0, and the fire is going to spread 1 square in every direction. As it does, Agni is going to take damage. Now, the good news is he's a red dragonborn, so he resists fire.
I was gonna
Great.
say, yeah.
The bad news is you cannot resist below 1, which means he takes at least 1 point of fire damage and thus 1 failed death saving throw.
Oh shit!
Okay, that is back to the start of the initiative. That is Ingrid.
Great. I'm gonna that right next to the fire. Could I use the Vessels of Water to put out this fire, or would that be with 1 action, or does I need multiple actions for the space it now obtains?
Now, it's supposed to be 1 space per action. Fighting a spreading fire is a losing battle without some sort of aid. But with your water, I feel like it's possible. If it was bigger than... So it's at 3x3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it was bigger than 3x3, I think that the answer would be no. But it's at 3x3. You have a lot of water at your disposal. In what kind of way? What kind of check, ability, spell, what kind of thing would you like to do to try to make this water stretch the extra mile?
This is a great question. I guess maybe if I could make like an acrobatics check to kind of try and spread it effectively and not like I'm trying to think of how to I don't really have a lot of tools for elemental stuff, really.
I understand. Listen, I'll allow an acrobatics check. It's going to be a kind of high DC because you've got no supernatural aid here. You're just trying to slosh it right.
Yeah.
Right? I'll allow acrobatics or sleight of hand. I don't know if you have a preference.
They're the same for me, but yeah.
Okay. I would allow either of those to put out 9 squares. I would need a DC 22 acrobatics or sleight of hand check.
All right, I have +6 to this, and I have inspiration from Oobtaglor. Let's see what we can do.
You do have a D8, yes.
I don't really have any way to get Agni up otherwise. So
Even if you fail, you're going to put out some fire.
Great.
Even if you fail, you're going to put out some fire.
Awesome. Okay. It's a 12 +6, so I'm going to use the inspiration.
Okay, so that's 18 right now.
I need to hit 22, right?
You need a 4 on this dice.
That's a 5.
Yes.
So that's a total of 23?
Total of 23.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ingrid, can you describe how you put out this fire that's about to burn Agni to death?
That's my office. Ingrid is just like entirely focused on trying to spread as much of the valuable ditch water that she had paid urchins so earnestly for before. Her whole life is in this building right now, and it is going up in flames. Not to mention, Agni is a dear employee, and like we got insurance. We don't have that good insurance, so we're keeping this place under control.
The fire goes up in the cleanest puff of smoke you've ever seen from the Oceanus water, and you see that Adamok is like at that visibly surprised and kind of pissed that this is not going according to plan. She's not a very talkative person, but she's also not good at hiding her emotions. She is visibly pissed that this is not going according to plan. There were not 4 of you here, and you've successfully put out more fire than one person should be capable of putting out by themselves.
Great. I'm going to use the rest of my movement to loop around to the other side and get into flanking with Adamok. And I would like to get bonus action to Insightful Fighting. Make an insight check against Adamok to contested by their deception check, and then I would have sneak attack against them if I succeed.
Fantastic.
Regardless of
look at that. They
placement.
have deception. That's a 3.
Great. Insight.
They're more of the stabby, kill than the infiltrate.
I got a total of 9 on the insight, so.
You're really off your game, but she's also really bad at this. Fantastic.
Just sort of stand menacingly.
That ends your turn and brings us to Oobtaglor.
I have a stupid idea.
Do it. Whatever it is, just do it.
I have animating performance, which can target a large or smaller non-magical item I can see within 30 feet of me. I would like to target the fire.
It's currently huge. It's 3x3.
I would like to target a large section of the
fire.
fire.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's fair. I should have specified that.
Fire an object.
What
I'll
about...
allow you to target the burning debris.
Yeah, the fuel source.
That is in the fire. I will allow you to target the burning debris that is in the fire.
So in it becoming a dancing item that floats, it can't spread.
Yes, this is true.
Okay. All right, I am going to decrease. So it is 9 squares. You're taking up 4 of them with large.
Yeah.
Let's decrease it by size down to a 2x2, down to 4 squares. So we'll say 4 become this floating thing, 4 become the fire that is on the ground. Is that a suitable spot for the fire to remain? Is that to Oobtaglor's liking? Or would you like the fire closer to you guys? I assume I made it smaller away from you guys. I assumed that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I was
going
to target the top left corner of it anyway.
Gotcha. All right.
Can you resize this this token to make it large?
You know I'd love to, Noir. There you go. You guys watch as a piece of desk and a bunch of burning carpet and rags and newspaper all flurries together into what kind of like shape? Is it just like a cyclone, or is it like some sort of like weird homunculus creature thing? Like what are you making this massive burning garbage look like, Noir?
I'm literally just imagining a ball of fire that's like containing itself more or less, so that it's not
Okay, yeah.
spreading
Just
anywhere.
this like churning ball of fire that's like burning away this debris. All right, and then what?
Well, I can ask it to attack someone.
Yeah, but who?
Agni.
No.
No.
No. What?
I always hated that guy.
Fuck.
I will use my bonus action to inspire Ingrid again, because I feel like we just need as much help as possible.
funny.
So, lights up on Sigil, the fight's up and there's work to do. I perk up all my allies with my music and my oozy goo.
the worst
Strum
one
my
yet.
lute, hum a funny tune, get all the enemies swooning with all my crooning.
That's something.
Hell yes. Take
I
your
can
inspiration
tell that's
whether you like it
Lin-Manuel
or not.
Miranda. Which one is that?
It's in the Heights. It's the first line.
The one I
the
haven't
Heights.
listened to.
Okay. Inspired Ingrid. I can use the same bonus action that I used to inspire to tell my thing to do
yes.
an action, and so I will ask it to do a force-empowered slam against Adamok. I almost said the Grixit.
Feels similar.
So where your head's at today?
It's Griggsity. You guys have fought a lot of like roguey, assassiny,
Yeah.
I work alone types
He
in this
loves
campaign.
making us fight a rogue.
I love making you fight a rogue. Okay, and go ahead, roll to attack.
Yep,
Their
so that is
AC
plus
is decreased by 2 until the start of their next turn.
What is that? Oh yeah, AC is decreased
Her
by 2.
AC is down by 2, so she's a little easier to hit right now until all her spines regrow.
Yep. Oh, also, you used, what was it, an ability check to take out the fire?
Yes,
think
Ingrid
Ingrid
used
I
her
did.
on an ability
Oh, right.
check. Yes.
Your
I think you
inspiration.
could have. Oh, you could have re-rolled the dice if you wanted to, but you didn't need to, so it's fine.
Cool.
Okay. So that is a D20 plus 7 to attack. That is a natural 20.
Woo!
Okay. God
She just gets
damn.
one-shotted by the fucking homunculus.
I think that's the second
Alright,
nat
well.
20 that I rolled on my
There's
homunculus.
no way she's resistant to fire damage. She's made of metal. Metal gets hot and melts.
So that's a D10 plus 13.
Throw some water on it. Do some.
Let's
that
double check
silver
the magic
sulfur.
item she has.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Oh no, is she gonna put out the fire? How
specific
awful
pull.
for us.
She's gonna stop, drop, and roll right on the rest of the flames.
Okay, 19 points of force damage.
Ooh,
19's
tasty.
pretty good, dude. She takes staring down the both of you. She's flanked, so she's looking between the both of you and Agony unconscious on the ground. Does not see the rising torrent of flame that comes in and strikes her from behind, nearly knocks her off the desk. She gets walloped pretty good, but then she turns with a sneer, and if that ends your turn, it's going to be hers, Oobtaglor.
Yes.
Fear.
All right, well, let's
Action, bonus action, yes.
see if she recharges real quick. 2, she's not going to recharge her Shrapnel Blast, so her AC goes back up. Her normal ability goes back online, her Whirling Blades, but she is not going to. She hasn't like regrown enough to do the blast again, so she's back up to her normal toughness. Instead, she's going to do. It's against Oobtaglor. She's going to do two arm blade attacks. As she pulls out, she doesn't hold weapons. Her arms are just razor sharp, and she's going to slash at you with forearm and elbow twice.
Yeah, you would like to slash an ooze, wouldn't you?
Yeah, she'd like to slash an ooze. Yes, please. Cool. That is lower one to we get a 21 to hit and a 23 to hit.
Yeah, both hit.
I'll
Okay.
use silvery barbs on her just to see if I can't get at least one of those to miss.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give myself advantage.
Okay.
I'll use silvery barbs on the other one.
Ah.
Okay. First one turns from a 23 to a 19.
That still hits.
Second one, I rolled even higher.
Okay.
Well, at least some of us have advantage now.
You have some advantage. All right, here we go. Where are my D8s at, everyone? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Stop.
So first
Bad.
attack
Illegal.
is 14 points of slashing.
Okay.
Second attack is 18 points of slashing.
Oh my god. Are you still up?
Sorry,
Was that
wait, hold on.
33?
16, not 18. Regain 2 hit points.
So 31.
I think just 30, right?
Yeah.
14 and
Oh
16,
no,
right?
I was right. It is 18. I did the math
Oh my
wrong.
God.
It is 18.
16 and 18. So 34.
That's more than Ingrid's total hit points.
I'm still up.
You're lucky Oobtaglor hit with a crit, because that damage might have been split up if Oobtaglor wasn't a huge pain in the butt right now.
You didn't want to attack the flaming fire? Why not?
She does have rapid shifting, which means opportunity attacks against her are made at disadvantage, but she's actually going to stay put right now, even though she's surrounded on all sides. So she's going to go to Ingrid's turn.
Okay.
All right, Ingrid, at the start of your turn, her whirling blades, which is just standing within a certain distance of her, are going to deal 8 points of slashing damage to you.
Sure. Okay.
So literally her moving around and slashing Oobtaglor and you trying to get in the fray is enough for you to get caught by some of the stray blades coming out of her back and her her shoulder blades.
I don't want her to do that to Agni.
Oh yeah, his turn should he is within 5 feet of her, isn't he?
Has his turn happened before mine?
Technically he goes on initiative count 0, which is also when the fire spreads. So the fire spreads, and he does take a second failed death saving throw as a result of being within 5 feet of her.
I think it would be incredibly difficult because I have a very low strength score, and I understand that. I think I need to get her away from Agni at all costs. Would it be possible to attempt to force movement, either drag or quite literally just push and chuck her towards the fire and out of that space?
It is absolutely possible. She's very far away from the fire, so
is Oobtaglor's living fire not? Does that not have the properties of fire also? Could I throw her into that and then she's sort of in the fire tunnel of pain?
I like that. I like that a lot. I think she should do it.
I don't think she can occupy. It's now a creature.
Okay.
She can't occupy its space.
Gotcha.
Right? She can't stay there.
If I wanted to push her off the other end of the desk, could I send her through that creature?
I would allow her to. It's big. I'll allow her to move through that, but you can't put her in and then she's stuck in a tornado of pain. That's not really what the item is meant to be.
I would love.
I can heal Agni on my next turn.
Yeah, I just want to get her away from him so that she doesn't auto whirl death, whatever. Could I attempt to push her off the edge of the desk and into the regular fire? I know it's a distance, so let me know how that would work.
You can push someone 5 feet with an attack.
Gotcha.
You have one attack with because you're a rogue.
Cool. Then I guess I'll try and send her. I think she's still gotta get away from Agni. Just kind of try and push her back into the chair of the desk, quite literally pull down almost.
Yeah, you can do that. It's a contested against her athletics or acrobatics, so your athletics versus her choice.
Great. My athletics is -1.
She's gonna roll athletics.
Oh.
But I have advantage.
All right, she has a plus.
On account of
you do have advantage.
My business.
All right, here we go.
You have inspiration
I
as
also
well.
have inspiration. This is also very true. That's pretty good. I am gonna roll that inspiration just in case. This is D8, right?
Yeah.
D8, yeah.
Okay.
And you're gonna get the ability score, ability check.
Yeah. So you can re-roll that if you want a higher number.
I rolled an 8 on it.
Okay. Nice.
What's the total?
15 plus 8, which is
23.
23. She rolled a 21.
Okay.
Get out of my office.
You yank her down. You reach up. You take whirling blades damage, but you grab her. She's still wearing clothes and stuff, even though she's all spiky and things like that. You grab her by leather belt and you yank her down. She goes ass first into Everard's empty cobwebbed chair here and lands hard. She lands really uncomfortably in this, and you watch as some of the chair splinters from the force.
Sit a while, don't you? We'll talk about what's happening. Maybe we can help you with your problem. That's what we do here at Open and Shut. I'm going to bonus action inspire Oobtaglor. We've got to stop the fire. It just keeps burning in our place of learning. Okay, you have inspiration. Yeah, that's... I'm gonna... I want her to just move back in front of Agni. I'm gonna jump up on the desk, staying within 5 feet of her, so that if she tries to... Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Putting yourself in a spot where there's no real reason for her to get... Like, Agni is not her number one concern here. Keeping yourself her number one concern is a strategic move. Definitely very smart. All right.
That's smart with my 23 hit
Oobtaglor.
points.
Oobtaglor, it's your turn.
I will use my bonus action to inspire Ingrid.
We're just gonna keep ping-ponging inspiration back and forth.
From just a solo act on stage, she's gonna be Ingrid. Now she's a sleuther in demand. And who, if she tries something new, can say she saw her cases through? Ingrid can. And I'll use that same bonus action to command my flame to put out the other flame.
It inhales it.
You're gonna have to. I don't.
Could it
How would it do that? It's a tornado fire. How would it put out another
by absorbing
fire?
it into itself?
Yeah, it sucks it in.
like a wind vortex?
It could use all the oxygen.
It's very big,
right? If you use all the oxygen around it.
Well, not all of it.
Fire,
Like if it can
fire.
I know that I can't get rid of it entirely, but if I can keep diminishing its size, then that'll be
It's like
fine.
those fire breaks in like a bushfire.
A controlled burn.
A controlled burn.
So you burn the wood around it before it can burn it, like a little house on the prairie.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and make me a performance check. Why not? We all know where this is gonna be, but make me a performance check.
Oobtaglor.
Yes, sir. 20.
Whoop.
Okay. It goes down one size category.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll have it move here. And then I will move here.
Flanking.
And I will attack with my flux foil.
Woo!
Okay.
You have advantage because you're flanking.
Yes. Oh, and I also had advantage because this is the first time I'm rolling since Silvery Barbs, but okay. Okay. 13. I have Sophia's inspiration.
Yes. It's a D6, not a D8.
Okay, yeah. 13 does not hit.
17.
Huh?
17 just hits.
Oh.
Come on, Oobsy baby. This is stressful.
How do you think
8.
I feel?
We can
8
do
points
nothing.
of damage. Okay.
We can do nothing.
I know. I'm sorry, friends. Don't worry. We're gonna come back to you and your investigation.
No, wait, I don't mind waiting. I just, would like to help.
It would be nice if we could help, yeah. I should have left dog with them. What am I doing?
All right. Does that end your turn, Oobtaglor?
Bonus action, movement? Yes, it does, sir.
Okay. Watches the fire tornado, and as you're putting out the fire, she turns to Oobtaglor and she goes, I suppose I owe you thanks at least for making this an interesting story. And she's going to attack you with her first attack. It's time to just kill the person who is hurt. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
Oh, Silvery Barbs, that.
Silver. Okay.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to give Oobtaglor advantage.
Oh my god. 25 to hit. You can't make up these dice rolls.
Jesus
Can
Christ.
I use Silvery Barbs?
Yeah, you can Silvery Barbs it one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm even gonna roll in front of the table here in roll 20. 1d20 plus 9. Here we go. What's your AC, Oobtaglor?
12.
19.
All right.
All right.
Okay, that
You
hits.
each have advantage
Oobtaglor
again.
goes down, and the fucking fire goes back to being a fire.
Well, it's gonna go out because it's just gonna fall to the ground. So.
Okay.
Yeah. How many hit points did you have left?
2.
2. Yeah, you take more than that. And then she is going to roll at advantage against you.
Okay.
Oh shit.
I can't see very far
that
as this
is
either.
that is 27 to hit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You take 2 failed death saving throws.
Okay.
Oof.
Initiative count 0. The fire is going to spread. Adamok did not use her shrapnel blast, which means Whirling Blades is still online, and anyone who starts their turn within 5 feet of her is going to take 1d8 points of piercing damage. We're going to come back after the break.
What the fuck, dude?
I genuinely have no idea how to get out of this.
That's what happens, right?
Oh my god.
We'll see you all back here in a minute.
Rolling with difficulty.
Has your plug pin been looking a little lonely? Do you need a reminder to forego sleeves and cook yourself a snack? Then have we got the pin pack for you. Kyana and Finbar enamel pins are now available for pre-order over on our crowd-made store. Designed by our very own Wally, these sturdy members of the Per Aspera crew are ready to join a new crew, your pin collection. Pre-orders are open from now until March 7th, so be sure to snag them while you can. And if you need even more to sweeten the deal, CrowdMade is offering 10% off your second item when you select 2 items from the Kyana and Finbar collection. So what are you waiting for? Head over to crowdmade.com and pick up the Kyana and Finbar pin pack for yourself.
The Badlands. A truly God-forsaken place. You'd have to be crazy to leave the safety of Threed for its sands. Legend has it that beneath this blighted earth, something truly powerful lies dormant, calling out to any traveler brave or desperate enough to listen. One day, aboard a doomed train into the wastes, 3 strangers heed that call. A shape-shifting bounty hunter,
Stranger's gone by many names, friend.
a runaway socialite,
Okay, girl, well, you just did your mascara, so no more crying for today.
and a former thief turned family man.
I promise that I will be back, and I will do my absolute best to right you.
Will our runaways find what they're looking for?
I mean, we're already here, let's have a little fun.
You really went in there, guns blazing.
I thought that was the plan.
My potions are miraculous.
I thought we were being quiet.
Oh, Stump only has 1 volume, sorry.
Wild roses grow out of his mouth, having filled his lungs.
What's happening out there? Violence.
Find out on Mage Hand High Five, the Badlands. And just between you and me, they ain't got a chance in hell.
Twice Rolled Tales is a New York City-based TTRPG studio creating on-screen actual plays that pack a big punch. They feature a rotating cast of some of the best TTRPG performers in the city, and completely original genres and system mashups. If their prop work isn't enough to inspire your home games, then check out their published adventures. Their most recent titles include Tabletop Gone Mad and Burning Down the Goat, one-shot games great for hours of madcap fun. You can find Twice Rolled Tales on YouTube, or direct from their website, twicerolledtales.com.
Rolling with difficulty.
And welcome back.
So cooked, you guys.
When last we left our heroes.
This is only episode 7, dude. We got 3 more episodes left.
Noir and
Some of us have
Sophia
5 more
get
episodes
to,
left.
Take a
Yeah,
break for the end of
yeah.
the season. We go hang out with Wally and the TBD.
When last we left our heroes, they were investigating the ditch. We find ourselves at the ditch. So Fally rolled a 15 on persuasion to talk to people, and Bileyg rolled an 11. Bileyg, climbing down, you find that there are still some there are some crates that are exposed enough for you to get your boots onto, and they are not so slippery with algae so as to be unable to stand on at this point. And you start looking around. With an 11, what you're noticing is that there is all manner of filth that is slowly starting to accumulate again, but nothing seems to stand out as that, like, nothing looks familiar to you with what you've seen. Like, trying to look for whatever might be causing you don't see, nothing stands out specifically to you with a perception check.
Okay.
Fally, you are up. You can still expend a use if you'd like, or you can hold on to it. Your choice. I know that You didn't find anything, but they're also kind of a free resource. Not free, but you're not spending spell slots, so I'll leave it up to your discretion whether you want to do it or not.
Well, I'm also like only 40 feet below the bridge at most, so it'll still be in range. So if I use one here, I'll get both of them, right?
Yeah, you're within range with a piece of the bridge and with the.
I'll just fire one off to see if anything shows
fantastic. Go ahead and roll me. This is basically a luck check. I don't want to roll. You know what? We never get to roll d12s. So go ahead, roll me a d12, and let me know if you hit a 12.
Sure. Nope.
Yeah, nothing seems to ping on it. Fally, meanwhile, you're up on the street, and you're trying to pull people over and ask them some questions. Most people, with a 15, you're able to get some people to talk to you, answer some questions, and basically anything you direct their way that in regards to like being sick, everyone seems to be like, nope, feel fine, all good. Now off to my pit fighting appointment that I have, because they're all heading towards the hive ward at this point. Like it's starting to get late, and that's what's going on over at the hive ward this time of night. So everyone's off to places, but they are willing to stop and talk to you until someone comes by and you try to stop them, and they say to you, you see there's this like Goliath guy who's kind of like hurrying along. He's got like clearly he's come off of work. He's like all kind of like sooty and dirty looking.
I'm doing a free screening for sudden seasonal affective disorder for the gatehouse. We're calling it ASADS. Still workshopping the name. Would you be able to stop for a quick moment and just if you've had any recent onset diseases of
what are you clues? We got to get out of here. There's a fire over there. It starts to like walk away faster. I would like Bileyg and Fally to both make me perception checks. Now, before you roll, this is the hive ward. Things are heavily obscured typically. There's a lot of smoke and ash that comes down normally. So normally I would call this a difficult check. I would call this a DC 20. But the River Oceanus has just come by, cleaned a lot of things up. The sky here is a little less smoggy than usual. So I'm going to lower the DC down to a 16. So I'd like for both of you to roll me perception checks and let me know if you roll a 16.
Can I roll at advantage because Dog is also here and has a passive perception of 11, which is the same as mine?
I will allow Dog to also make a check, actually.
Okay, so that's effectively me rolling at advantage because we're both rolling.
I suppose so, yes.
All right.
No, but you have to tell me which one's you and which one's the dog. We have to know.
All right, the red one is me, the purple one is Dog.
You're red?
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh my gosh, we both get it. I get exactly a 16 and Dog gets a 17.
Okay. Fally, what did you roll?
15.
No.
Didn't make.
You try to look over the rooftops and see where this might be coming from. To you, it still all seems like smog. 15, that's really close. It all kind of seems like smog. But you looking for something, Dog picks up on this and sniffs the air, and Dog sniffing the air, Bileyg, you also notice that something is going on, and he looks up and you see fire, smoke, not smoke from a factory, but smoke clearly, definitively from a fire, curling up into the sky, not far from here.
We gotta go. I am getting on Dog, whose speed is 60.
Wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm getting you on
Fally
Dog, too.
Yeah.
We're, like, down, so we have to get up back to the bridge anyway, so...
The Dog, pretty easily, though, for Dog. Speed is 60. Luckily, you have Dog, because you're both slow individuals as a halfling and a dwarf. But Dog is fast.
Mm-hmm.
On that 15, you are going to make it there this round. And as Dog bounds in, you see, sure enough, the light pouring out from what should be the dark office, the fire dancing in the behind the glass, pouring light out onto the street, and you see smoke rising up through, through windows and things like that, starting to like seep out of the building, out from underneath the door, as all these oily rags and now furniture and books and things are starting to catch on fire. We are going to place all of you outside the door here. So, do you have a dog token, Red?
Yes, I do. I was going to ask if I could have him jump us through the plate glass window, but this also works.
You know what? Go ahead and have Dog roll an attack roll.
Certainly. Okay, spell attack modifier. What the hell's my spell attack modifier?
It should be your charisma
6.
plus your proficiency.
Yeah, okay, +6.
The good news is the AC of glass is pretty low.
Good. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. 22 to hit.
22 to hit. What is the damage on it?
It's 1d8 plus 2 because it was a second level spell. Radiant damage, I guess.
That's okay. Yeah.
Slam. I can roll that once I figure out where the hell my d8 is. This will work. I mean, it's glass.
I rolled for the hit. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna get through.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 6, so that is 8 damage.
I rolled 7 hit points, so if you didn't roll high enough on the... you were going to make it through the glass no matter what, but if you didn't roll enough damage, there was going to be a bunch of broken glass in the way that was going to damage everyone who went through. Cool. Dog is able to smash cleanly through the glass. This is Dog here. Let's go ahead and... is this Dog here?
Dog is the only other token I have.
Nope,
Hold on.
That's Fally. Hold on. Give
I'll get Dog.
Nameplate so we know this is Fally.
Boop. There he is. But you're going to have to make it bigger because I still can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know why that should be the case, but I will make Dog bigger. You watch as Dog, Ingrid, Oobtaglor goes down, gets stabbed. The fire spreads. You watch the whirling blades dancing dangerously close to yourself and to Oobtaglor. On initiative count 0, following the fire spreading, all of that other stuff, you watch as Dog, Fally, and Bileyg crash through the window into the office here. And I need both of you to roll initiative for me. We're going to add you to the initiative count.
Come on,
We're
gang.
still fucked if we go beyond everything. Okay.
Fight.
Oh my god, it's a 3.
Oh no.
Okay.
Jesus H. Christmas.
No pressure, Fally.
Okay. This is gonna go great.
Hey!
Also a 3.
Is that 2 3s?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, wait, let me see one thing.
Someone could put out the fire.
Damn it, Dog shares my initiative.
Dog does. All right. Both at 3. Your turn's upcoming. We go to the start. To the top with Ingrid. Ingrid, initiative count 21. What would you like to do? You watch as they land in, but clearly they're not going fast enough. Something is going to have to go down this turn, or something bad is about to happen.
I think Ingrid, in like just pure fury, like everything she has built is literally on fire right now, is gonna lash out with the Grigset's blade.
If you don't move Adamok away from Oobtaglor before Oobtaglor's turn starts, Oobtaglor is going to die.
I thought Oobtaglor already died.
Oobtaglor is at 2 death saves. And will auto-fail one if you're in the
Oh,
blade
I guess
aura.
I thought that happened on Adamok's. Okay.
No, that happens on Oobtaglor's turn.
Yeah,
so either
if
you have to move
start your
Oobtaglor out of
turn
there,
within-
or you
yeah.
move Adamok out of there, or
Which
Oobtaglor
it-
dies and I can't bring him back.
Yeah.
It would be.
Neither
it
can
would
I.
be. Yeah, it would be. There would be no check. It would be your action to pick them up, to pick up Oobtaglor, but there would be no check because Oobtaglor can't resist. Oobtaglor is unconscious.
Gotcha. Just trying to think of like what the best way to move them is, because Adamok can pretty easily. Like I don't have the strength to. It's an action to move Oobtaglor, no matter how you slice it, right?
It's an attack to grapple Oobtaglor in order to move them, and you only have the one single attack. Yes, but it does count as an attack if you want to do like an offhand attack or something like that as well.
So if I attack Bladeling, I could offhand attack move Oobtaglor, or not that direction.
Could you do that? That's a great question.
Because I don't think I can offhand attack unless I attack first, but I don't know that.
You can't offhand attack unless you attack first. It might be that the conditions of offhand attack specify you're using a blade with a light property, in which case you can't actually do. You'd
let me
have
check
to
my
attack with
offhand
an,
attack.
an unarmed attack. Not a
Two-weapon
finesse
fighting.
or a light weapon.
You could
Tag
stab
action, your
Oobtaglor
turn.
and just be done with the whole thing.
Just take away the
When you
unknown
take the attack
aspects.
action on your turn and attack with a light weapon, you can make one extra attack as a bonus action on the same turn. That extra attack must be made with a different light weapon. So like
There you go. So it must that. So the attack would have to be made with a light weapon, and thus would not qualify for a grapple.
Fists don't count as a light weapon.
No, they do not. They count as unarmed strikes.
Okay.
They are technically melee weapon attacks for the category. Just get to be all annoyed about the Paladin Smite of the Fist. It specifies a melee weapon attack, not an attack made with a melee weapon. Those are two separate things in D&D 5e. Oh, by the way, Ingrid, you do start your turn within the Grigsit, so you are going to take...
Not Grigsit.
Not the Grigsit, but Adamok.
Sorry, within Adamok, you are going to take 6 points of slashing damage.
Yep. Does Adamok move before Oobtaglor's initiative?
Nope, Oobtaglor goes next in the initiative.
Okay. Sorry, I just need to make sure I get this exactly right, because if I moved... I can't move Oobtaglor more than, 5 feet, so if they weren't going next, it was going to be a big issue. I gotta move them. It's not what Ingrid wants to do, but it's what's gotta happen. So, 5, 10... I guess I'll action...
Hey, be mad at your paladin for not rolling better on initiative, otherwise...
Oh, yeah. Because what I really need is to have a worse night, Austin. Thanks, man.
It's all on Red, really. I think we've all agreed it's all on Red.
In here. You can't put this on my shoulders.
God
I'm so
damn.
So
how good you?
We're all friends here. It's
fine. It's fine. If I bonus action disengage, does that cover Oobtaglor also, or only?
Forced movement doesn't proc attacks of opportunity anyway.
Technically, Red is correct, but yes, there are no opportunity attacks.
When I'm
against
forced
Red.
movement, that's double movement, or is there a limit on how much I can move?
You are going to be at half movement dragging Oobtaglor because they're the same size as you.
Gotcha. So 5, 10.
But you can pivot them around for free, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
You're holding them at arm's length.
If I'm spending an entire action to move Oobtaglor, which Ingrid does not want to do, so I'm just trying to maximize that as much as possible to get them away from the person who auto does damage, because it's going to be so easy for Adamok to close that distance. So
when you say pivoting is free, does that mean that Ingrid could pivot Oobtaglor to the square directly below her, and that wouldn't count as 5 feet of movement?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, and then you could use the rest of your movement to, push them forward, 2 more squares. Behind the desk.
You basically be putting me back in my chair.
I get it. I'm trying
into the bucket
to get my brain to function with math, which is not good. Okay, so I moved 5, 10, so that's 10 of my 30. Pivot them to right in front. So go to the corner of the desk, Oobtaglor. I guess I'll bonus action disengage and push us that way.
Okay.
And Ingrid will shout to the two just busted in. 3 problems. Down Agni, down Oob, and fire. Deal with them quickly. And that's my turn.
Okay. You have successfully brought Oobtaglor out of instant death. However, Oobtaglor is going to have to make a death saving throw at the start of their turn here.
Pretty sure you have advantage.
Oobtaglor has at least advantage. Yeah, possibly 2 from the silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs.
You can't stack advantages,
I know,
but you do have advantage.
Oobtaglor definitely has advantage because they got it from my silvery barbs.
Oh, wait. Because he's within... How close are you? Shit, how does this work? I have a feature about this. What the fuck is
you
this?
do.
Aura of Protection. You're within 10 feet of me. You have a +3 bonus on this saving throw.
Excellent. So advantage and a +3.
Yep.
2. And an 18, so 21.
Okay. Woo!
21. That will not bring you above, but it will mean a successful death save. Oobtaglor is still alive. It is Adamok's turn. Adamok is going to roll the d6. If she gets a 6 on this dice, she will recharge her shrapnel blast
and be
able to hit all of you with an attack.
Including Oobtaglor, who
just
auto
fails. In front of the group. Including Oobtaglor, who auto fails. Here we go. This is a d6 in front of the group.
So if it's a 1, does she just explode?
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on the d6. You watch still slowly growing back in. She spreads her arms. Now it's a party. And she is going to make a... She's going to go make a melee attack against Ingrid.
Great.
How rough is Adamok looking?
Adamok is not bloodied.
Okay.
Adamok's doing okay. That is an 18 to hit against Ingrid.
That'll hit, so I'm going to silvery barbs it. That's my last silvery barbs.
Okay.
I'll give myself advantage.
Here we go. One more roll. That is much higher.
That'll hit. I have
This will be
17 total hit points.
Okay. This is 8 plus 3 is 11.
Okay.
Plus 5
Yep.
is
16.
16.
I have 1 hit point.
Oh, baby.
So on my turn, I die. Unless it's basically what happens. Because they're right there.
She is going to, knowing how her ability works, she is going to take a disadvantage attack on... you know what? Who does she see as the bigger threat here? I think both of you right now are kind of equal, so we're going to roll. Odds are coming to Red, evens are coming to Linnie. Evens coming to Linnie. We're going to do a disadvantage spear attack. She does have some, like, javelins that she can throw. So we are just going to make one at disadvantage against, because she is currently within 5 feet of... Oh, my mistake. When she reduces a creature to 0 hit points, she gains 10 temporary hit points. So
Great.
that goes in.
Of course.
She still has 1 legendary
my
resistance, too.
And then we're gonna throw against Fally. That's the lowest roll of the night. That's a 13 to hit Fally.
Does not hit, right?
Ooh.
What's your armor
What's your
class?
AC?
Oh, yeah, 16. No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, cleric.
Throws.
I was overthinking this
cleric.
massively.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't hit.
How do you prevent this from? You see, you are on the back of Dog. Jump in this terrible scene. You watch Ingrid's probably about to go down. Fire is spreading, and you watch Adamok throws a spear at you. Is this a panic reaction? Is this a, like, sheer luck? Is this, like, a moment of bravery? What is the thing that prevents you from being impaled by a spear in this moment?
Fally is wearing adventurer's armor and is not does not super have the physique of an adventurer. So I think, like, turtle-like, he's just gonna duck and sort of descend into his armor just enough for the javelin to graze over his head. Just,
Turtle mode, understood.
Yeah.
Okay. You narrowly avoid taking a javelin to the chest, and that will bring us to, I believe it is your turn, because Fally, your dexterity is probably higher than Bileyg's, I think. What are your dexterity scores again?
Dex is 11.
10.
Oh, maybe not.
Okay.
What's yours? Oh, yours is
barely.
10? Okay. So
Alright,
it is
My
Fally,
save was
and
+3, but that's just because of my aura of protection.
Fally, it is your turn.
Perfect. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame and aim that at Adamok, and then after that immediately cast Mass Healing Word on everyone around.
Okay.
The three allies, to be clear here.
Cleric.
3 allies.
Cleric.
I mean, 2 of you are full, but you know what? Agni is also in range.
Yeah, the dragon
So,
one, yeah.
Agni.
So Agni,
Yeah.
yeah.
So first off,
Ingrid
let's
and-
do a dex save for Adamok. Adamok rolled just a 12, so I think that's gonna fail.
Yeah, you need a 14.
Okay, yeah, Adamok fails.
That is 7 points of damage.
Okay, 7 points of
It is
radiant.
Radiant damage as well.
She
that.
does not resist this. Eating through those temporary hit points she gained from her Battle Lust. It's an Acheron feature because she's native to the world of war. When she kills people, she like gets reinvigorated. Fantastic. And then what does it look like when you call upon this mass healing word, this extremely clutch ability?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I think I'm gonna, put my hand over the Sigil of Helm and say, they're literally a detective agency. They're the closest thing they get to following the rules around here. Just give them a hand.
Oh, shucks.
You reach out to Helm's civic-mindedness, and Helm answers back. You hear your words go through, and a healing light fills. I believe that's going to be 1d4 plus your wisdom to 3 targets, so that would be
I have
Agni.
it as... yes. Yes, 1d4. That is
Okay.
6.
Okay, each of you gain 6, and you also have an ability that
Oh yeah,
means
so
that
everyone can take their reaction. And
I believe one target of this spell can take a reaction.
Oh, is it only one? That was
Yes.
going to be one of my questions of like, is this everyone or is this just one person?
It is just one, but it's powerful, and it means that I mean, Oobtaglor is out of reach. Agony is definitely no help, but Ingrid would make a great target for rolling a reaction attack. Oh, wait, does she have her reaction
No,
because
I
she
used
used
it on
Silvery
Silvery
Barbs?
Barbs.
Oh.
Do I have to have a reaction for it to proc?
It's you can spend your reaction to attack, yeah.
Tragically, no, I do not
your
have that.
weapon attack. Wait,
Oobtaglor would. Oobtaglor, do you have any attacks that are ranged? I believe it's a weapon attack that you have to make.
It's a weapon attack, yeah.
A ranged weapon attack? I think all I have is my flux. Well, I might have a dagger. I do have a dagger.
You could make that if you'd like.
Also,
Surprise, motherfucker.
I think I can also technically cast this on Bileyg as well, because it's up to 6 people.
What are we talking about for the healing or the?
Yeah, you don't need to be healed, but you could. Now I can give you an extra reaction attack with you.
Correct. Bileyg, do you have a ranged attack of some kind?
No, I have no ranged abilities whatsoever. Don't waste it on me.
Right.
Ingrid is kind of in the way, though.
Ingrid's not going to provide cover.
No.
You're fine.
I'm a little stick
Okay,
lady. I'm a wispy old woman. I'm not half
mechanically, don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Rolling my dagger.
You are at disadvantage because you are prone.
Okay. Well, that first one is a 6. And the next one was a 17. So 6 plus something which isn't gonna do anything, I don't think. So yeah, it's 10.
10 is not going to hit, but you come back to consciousness, and as you do, there is an you're not normally a throw a blade kind of ooze, that's not really your MO in battle, but as you are healed by this spell, there is a voice of authority that comes through to you, and there is no whisper in your ear from a god or anything. We're not doing this campaign to you, but there's no whisper in your ear, but there is a sense of a watchful presence over your shoulder, and on instinct you lash out with this dagger. It glances harmlessly off of Adamok, but you can. There was some juice there. All right.
So it's my turn.
It is now Bileyg's turn.
Okay, dog is going to charge and do an otherworldly slam attack on Adamok.
Cool.
So let me just.
Dog is going to take 1d6 from moving through the fire. I don't think there's any way for dog to get. Can dog? Oh, I guess dog can squeeze through there. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
So.
I'm looking
why
at
are there 2
diagonal,
dogs on screen now? Okay, great, cool. Yeah. So dog is going to otherworldly slam attack, which is 1d20 plus 6 to hit. Okay.
D20s. You're out here using D20s.
I know, crazy. You had me rolling D12s earlier for some fucking reason.
That's D12s, man.
Dog rolls a 16 total, which I think will probably miss.
16 just misses.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all right. That's just your dog. You're a paladin.
Yeah, so I'm going to hop off of dog, and actually I can just flank with Ingrid instead of wasting the extra square.
It is half your speed to dismount, which is rounded up 15, which would give you 10 feet.
Which moves me exactly here.
Which moves you exactly there, yep.
Okay, so first attack at advantage. That is gonna... hold on a second. Fuck, that's only another 16. All right, second attack, also at advantage. That is a 17. Actually, sorry, that's probably a 21, but one of the dice landed on the pile of other dice, so I didn't know if I should count it. But the other one is...
It's going to... 17 hits either way, so we don't need to adjudicate.
Yeah, so this is going to be 1d8 plus 3 plus the smite I'm going to pour into this.
You're going to smite? You think it's a little overkill?
Yeah. Yeah, I really trust what you say to me right now, Mr. DM. Let's see. And I'm assuming this lady is fiendish, not to stereotype, but
she is not fiendish. She is a humanoid.
Really? Okay.
Yep,
so
she's
she's
a
not going to
regular
get
person.
the extra 1d8.
The same way Oobtaglor is an ooze from Limbo, but they're just a regular person. She is a bladeling from Acheron, but she's a regular person.
Okay, cool.
If you kill her, she just dies.
Great. That's good to know.
I need her
Which
head
I don't know
for
if any of you guys
something.
were interested in doing that, if just on happenstance, if you're interested in killing her for some reason.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's 1d8 plus 3 is the base damage. Expending a spell slot for 2d8 extra radiant damage. Yeah, this could be fun. I can bonus action cast Shining Smite to deal an extra 2d6 damage, which I think is on top of the smite.
You do have to. It is on top of the smite. You do have to cast it first, but I'm going to go ahead and say in this case, it's been a long time.
No, you say casting time, 1 bonus action, which you take immediately after hitting a creature with a melee weapon or an unarmed strike.
Is that the 2024
you know what the reason for that
rules?
is? It's one of the new 2024 rules spells, but that is fine. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be this plus 3 plus these 2 dice. Oh my fucking god. Okay, hold on.
I suspect that maybe she's going to have to kill you next.
12, 15, 18 damage, slashing and radiant.
18 slashing and radiant's pretty good.
Yes. So wait, do I expend a spell slot and also cast Shining Smite as a different spell?
Those are 2 separate spell slots. You have to spend a spell slot for Divine Smite, for Blinding Smite.
Yeah, I got it.
It's called.
Shining Smite.
Shining Smite. I don't know. The word shining, I feel like I've never heard that before. Are you sure that's a word?
It's weird.
Until the spell ends, the target sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius. Attack rolls against it have advantage, and it can't be invisible. It is a concentration spell.
Yep. Oh, and also, let's see. Oobtaglor, what's your health?
6.
Okay. And Ingrid?
7.
Sorry, Ingrid's closer. Yeah. Dog is going to bop his nose on you, and you're going to regain. Just a second. I need my d8s again.
This could quite literally keep Ingrid from going
Dog
down.
has a healing ability as a bonus action?
Dog has a once per day special ability called Healing Touch, and you have just regained 14 hit points.
Hell yeah, dog.
It's a bonus action, not an action?
It's a bonus action, not an action.
Hell yeah. Wow.
It's a once per day bonus action.
That is very cool.
Good boy.
Dog, you get touched with a wet dog nose, touches you and revitalizes you.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, pat. Good boy.
All right.
I said 14,
we
right?
get to,
Yeah.
That should be correct.
I'm at 21 now.
We get to initiative count 0. I'm going to roll a 1d4 because I need to know which direction this fire is spreading in. So 1 is top left, 2 is top right, and going clockwise that direction. Let's roll the d4 and see, because when this enters your space, some of you may take damage. 4, so it's going bottom left. So it's going to extend this way. Fally and Dog are both going to take 1d6 points of fire damage.
Okay.
You're each going to take 3 points of fire damage as the fire spreads underneath you.
Okay.
And so this, if we don't move, we'll continue to take damage?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
When you at the start of your turn or on the first time you enter it on a turn. So when it spreads onto you or if you walk into it. But you can't take it multiple times a turn. So it's not like you start there and you walk through and you take a bunch of damage. Although it is per square you move. So if you moved into a new one, I guess, yes. Okay. It is also initiative count 0. Agni is conscious, so Agni's going to get up from prone. We're at an interesting spot. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, little cobwebs on Everard's chair. I thought that was a nice touch by me.
That's cute.
Yes, I could.
Anyway,
I was appreciating the fine details amidst the roaring flames that were our office.
Good.
I'm gonna bring everyone in as the DM a little quickly, because on the one hand, Agni is extremely loyal, tenacious. He's not the kind of guy who's gonna turn tail and run just because it looks dangerous, right? He cares about you guys. He's gonna help you. On the other hand, he is like a commoner with a kind of okay strength. So
could he
I don't want you
start
as
throwing
players
some
to
of
be
those water
worried
buckets
about his
around?
health in this fight. You know what? Putting out a fire is exactly the kind of thing.
Agni dear, I'm so glad
do.
you're conscious.
He's gonna grab
there's a ton of vats of water around. If you could be so kind.
Yeah.
He is going to extinguish. Now it's only 5 foot square, so he's going to
fine.
extinguish 1 5 foot square.
I appreciate his efforts.
I will go ahead and draw that in. Whoops! No, what are you doing? Don't be blue. Make it blue. Make it red.
It's ice now. It's ice now, you guys. We're fine. We're fine.
It's ice now. He's going to extinguish this corner here, so that it won't spread in that direction.
Perfect.
Don't worry, I've got this. Psst, and it kind of goes out a little bit.
His efforts are very valiant, and I hope that he continues.
All right, and then it brings us to Ingrid. Ingrid, you're going to start your turn within 5 feet, and thus take 8. Oh my god, I'm rolling crazy on these. 8 points of slashing damage.
Yes.
Jesus H. Christmas.
That would have killed me if not for Dog. Thank you, Dog. Okay.
He's a good boy.
Ingrid is furious.
The best
has
boy.
very little recourse for putting out fire, and is confronted with, how's Admonic looking?
Let's see. Adamok, after that last hit, she's close to bloodied, but about close to half.
Your attacks have advantage because she's currently glowing, and also we're flanking.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack with the Grixis Blade.
So you get
at
sneak
advantage. I do. I have sneak attack against her regardless, as long as I don't have disadvantage, because I did my insightful fighting in the beginning of this.
Right.
Yes. Which means, by the way, if you do get another reaction attack for some reason, you will get your sneak attack.
For some reason.
Was a 2 and a natural 20.
Yes!
Oh, that's a
Destroy
crit.
her.
Okay.
Double
So that's
that
a
sneak attack damage,
Crit
baby!
with the Grixis Blade, which also does something. You take an extra 7
yeah, when you
damage of the
crit-
weapon's type, which for the Grixis Blade is
piercing.
It's also a magic weapon, so as long as they're...
It is magic, which is important because she does resist non-magical. But I think at this point, all of you have magic weapons, except for... Well, no, Fally has a magic weapon. Yeah, you all have magic weapons.
Oh, Fally has a weapon.
The
That's nice.
dagger, if it hit, would have been resisted.
Yeah.
So my sneak attack is 2d6, so that's base 12.
Yes.
The
that's
Grixis Blade
12.
does... I'm just getting the baseline here. Grixis Blade does 1d6 plus 4, so...
10.
10, so 22 baseline, and then I gotta roll.
Also,
plus
the
3d6.
plus 7, right? Because
Yes,
it's a
plus
Grixis
7
Blade.
from Grixis Blade.
So that's 29 damage base. Oh my Christ.
It's my fucking office, dude. Get out of my fucking office. That's good. Okay. The blade itself does 6 plus 4, so that's another 10. And then sneak attack is an additional 8.
So that's
counted the
47
4
damage.
You've counted the 4 twice.
So
the
just
dexterity
the
4.
6
So
on the
that's
Grixis
43
Blade,
damage.
and then another
that's
8.
43 damage total.
Yeah.
I trust your math, Red, more than I trust anyone else's here. 43
I
damage.
think
Holy
that's correct, unless I missed
shit.
anything.
Ingrid, you don't get the kill, but you have taken this battle from still going to rage on to, oh man, this is going to be decided really quickly. Please describe that last attack.
I think Ingrid is just like flames going in the background. This is the most dramatic anything ever. Quite literally, again, this is her whole life's work going up in flames around her, and this is the person directly responsible, and conveniently a skull that she could use. So I think there's not even like words, just like a grunt of like agony, and because she's going down this guy's next turn, right? Like there's no way that Admech doesn't fucking destroy Ingrid's 7 fucking hit points. So she's like enraged, and she's gonna go in for the kill. You
slice through where armor is still reforming, and you hit something critically vital in this woman, and you watch as like her whole demeanor goes from battle ready, wounded, but like I know how to deal with an injury, to like that's we're in live or die mode at this. There's something critical is going to happen in the next 6 seconds, and if I don't make something good happen, it's going to be something bad.
Yeah, and I'm gonna offhand attack with the dagger, which is just a D4 if it hits, but I think I still have advantage because of flanking.
And I think
she's still glowing. Also,
oh yeah,
you still have advantage. The dagger though is non-magical, I believe.
Yes, so this will be halved.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that is a dirty 20 to hit.
That'll hit. So go ahead, roll the dagger.
Rolled a fucking 1, so I guess it's 1 point of damage.
It
that's
can't
a hack
decrease.
because
It can't
you can't have 1.
And for good measure.
She takes 1 point of damage.
Have you named the dagger
She's still
insult?
in double
So you're
digits.
adding insult to injury.
That's good, Red. It might just have to be.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just stand there.
Anything else you'd like to do?
Menacingly.
Yeah.
I don't want to take
run away,
Bileyg's
take an attack of opportunity of some kind.
flanking from him, so I realize hindsight 2020
She's
I could have
still glowing.
disengaged, but
I can flank with dog. It's okay.
No, I don't. There's nowhere Ingrid could go. There's fire on one side and a wall on the other, so
You can jump up onto dog.
I would
right?
rather
Bonus action
stay
just-
close to the cleric than start running away.
Fair.
Okay. That is Oobtaglor's turn.
Bonus action, inspire Bileyg. Look on the bright side, get on the smite side of your sword. You're saving Sigel's grand community, getting to Venya's your reward. Wait till you see tomorrow, tomorrow's your status restored. You aren't sad cause you are a paladin, look on the bright side, says Oobtaglor.
Aww.
Nice, I like it.
How many more of those do you have left? That's got to be your last one, right, Oobtaglor?
That is my last one for today. Unless I short rest, which... Well, we need one.
We haven't even solved the mystery
Boy, that would be
yet.
nice.
And
okay.
for my action...
Action.
For my action, I'm going to move here, and I will attack with my Flux Foil.
At advantage because of the thing.
At advantage, yes.
At advantage.
It's a 5 and a 7.
Aww.
So I don't think a 12 does it.
No, 12 will not hit.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
That is Adamoc's turn. First off, let's roll that d6. See if she recharges it. Nope.
No.
Oof.
She only got it once this entire fight.
Good. Thank fucking God.
All right. Attacks of opportunity against her are made with disadvantage.
But
you all have advantage against her right now. And her exit is currently blocked by a fire, a dog, Ingrid, and Oobtaglor. So she is going to go for the biggest damage dealer here to try to create a spot out. That's going to be Ingrid.
Hi, gang.
All right, here we go. Attack roll. That is a natural 20.
That will hit.
Silvery. Yes.
Okay. Silvery barbs. That is a 19.
That will still
But
hit.
it's not
But
a
it's
crit.
not a crit.
Okay.
I have 13.
I mean, it's still gonna down Ingrid, right?
I have 13 hit points, so conceivably, if they roll really bad.
7 plus 4 is 11, plus 5 is 16.
Yeah, Ingrid's down.
Ingrid goes down, you're unconscious, she
Good.
can move past you. She's going to attack Oobtaglor. That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay. That is 12 plus 5 is 17 points of slashing damage.
So you're back down
Oobtaglor is
again,
down.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She is now going to move. She has... Oh, wait.
If
Hold
she
on,
moves out of my
double check.
threatened area.
When Adamoc reduces another creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, she gains 10 temporary hit points. She can take a bonus action to move up to her speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Oh my god.
She will gain 20 hit points, temporary. No, only 10 because they replace each other. Only 10 because they replace each other. But on the second one, she will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
She's heading front. She's leaving.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
How much movement?
She's going to try to get away. She just has 30 feet, but she got free when she downs someone. She gets reinvigorated, so it's temporary hit points, but it's also a free movement. She didn't take it the first time because she was just fighting 2 people. She didn't need to run away from you. Now she does. That is going to be Fally's turn.
Faladin?
Fally, you start in the fire. You're going to take 3 points of fire damage.
Oh, right. Oh no.
If you can get those 2 back up, I can hop onto dog and chase.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did. Cast Sacred Flame as a cantrip. Target gains no benefit from cover, so that's fun. And then cast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mass.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that
Okay.
3
Perfect.
damage. You know, why not?
Yeah,
It's
why
there.
not?
Well, let's see if she saves. She doesn't, but she does have
Legendary
a ring of
resistant?
evasion. She'll use her reaction to succeed on this dexterity saving throw and take no
Sure.
damage.
Cool. Well, she's still
Why
glowing.
not? And then I will mass healing word again.
Thanks, team.
Okay.
Oobtaglor and Ingrid.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
That's 6.
Back up.
And if you had a reaction to attack an enemy next to you, you could do that.
But she's out the door. Okay.
Can't.
So,
Yeah,
My
I
turn?
don't think I can throw a dagger that far.
I believe that is, unless Fally has something else that they'd like to do. I believe that is your turn.
well, does Fally
You can
want to
probably
get
put that
off
in
of
fire.
dog before I give chase or nah? Either way is fine.
No, I think now that they're alive and there's no threat, I think I'll stay on dog.
Okay. 5,
Okay.
10. Dog starts moving.
Yep.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Dog is going to attack at advantage.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm also on dog, so...
You're also on dog?
Yeah. And I used 10 feet of my movement so far. Dog attacks. That is an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
With Otherworldly Slam, they are going to do... Where the hell is this? 1d8 plus 2 radiant damage. That's only a 2, so 4 radiant damage.
Okay.
And I am going to use... How much movement do I have? This is actually significant. Well, I'm still on dog. I can attack her from here, and I don't need to flank because I already have advantage on her.
Correct,
So,
yep.
I'm just going to attack at advantage. Okay, first...
You've got 2 attacks.
I do have 2 attacks. First attack. Okay, that is a 14 on the die, so that becomes a dirty 20.
That's going to hit.
Yep. Okay, so this is going to be 1d8 plus 3 plus another Divine Smite, so plus 2 additional d8. Okay. 4, 8, 10, 13 slashing damage on the first attack.
13 damage, slashing, and radiant.
Yes.
She can't take another one of those.
Good. Second attack.
One more attack.
Oh no! Wait, I have a Bardic Inspiration. Okay.
Yes.
So I rolled, my highest roll is an 8, which means plus my attack. What the fuck is my attack? Hold on. Sorry. Everything is happening so much. I think currently I'm only at a 14. What die is it for inspiration?
D8.
It's a D8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on, buddy.
It's a date.
What the fuck is happening? Sorry, I'm really flustered. It's a 5, so that means it is enough to hit.
Okay.
Okay. What the fuck
As
else
she
am I going to be using
runs
spell
down the
slots for?
street
Yeah.
on the cobblestone, you bear down behind her on dog. She has 8 hit points left. Can you roll 8 damage?
On 3d8 plus 3? God, I hope so.
You've never rolled 3 1s on 3d8 then.
Well, hold on. One of the dice just went wide. Currently, it's a 2 and a 1 on the 2d8 that I have in my tray.
So that's 3 plus 3 is 6.
Yeah.
If the next dice is a 1.
It's an 8. Fuck you.
It was enough. Finish her. How do you kill her?
Hot dog style. Bisected down the middle. Future Trunks versus Frieza type.
Oh.
You catch in the shoulder and go right down. You feel the friction of blade on blade as it carves through her, like, sharp metal body.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, get most of the way down before she tumbles out of the blades into the street. The freshly washed streets, Bileyg.
The Hive Ward has seen worse.
The Hive Ward has seen worse. And with that, it is initiative count 0.
The fire spreads.
The fire spreads. Agony is going to, on his turn, go 5, 10, 15, 20. He's just going to pick up Ingrid, and he really can't move anymore, but you're unconscious. He's gonna use his action to stand
I'm
you
not.
up. He's also going to stand.
Ingrid got a mass healing
Neither
word.
of us are unconscious. We both got mass healing word.
Neither of you are unconscious. You're prone because you were unconscious. He's going to use his action to stand you up.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Boss, I think we gotta go.
There's gotta be a way to put this out. It's
exponential growth at this point, functionally speaking.
I know, but if every single... Because it goes out in one side and one direction each time.
Yeah.
So
but we can extinguish one square at a time, basically.
But if every single one of us extinguished a square each time, that would be equivalent, I guess.
Well, correct if I'm wrong, each square of individual fire can basically create... Does it expand in all directions when
it
it's
expands
a one
in
square
one
fire,
direction.
Or... Okay.
It expands
so
in
it
one
gains...
direction, which means on your next turn there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more squares of fire.
Yeah.
I don't think Ingrid's willingly walking out of here. Like, she'll go towards the window, but she's actively trying to put the fire out the entire time. Like, Ingrid does not want to let this office burn down.
Yeah.
I know it's not the logical thing to do, but, like, there's no world where she's walking out of here,
reasonable.
even if it's a burning building.
Would you believe paladins don't have spells for firefighting?
Anyone have create or destroy water? That'd be super useful.
I only have
Create or
purify
destroy
food
water
and drink.
would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Agony picks up Oobtaglor as much as you can pick up a news as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go out of initiative orders strictly and into a what I'm going to... I don't want to stretch this into an entire skill challenge, because I don't want... This is happening very fast, and I feel like that would give the impression that this is over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have anything that is more than I can put out one square at a time by using normal means? Any methods that they would like to bring to task here to try to put out this fire? Because if not, we'll simply go into the narrative of what Ingrid and the other investigators might do.
How would you define large?
How would I define large? 4x4.
So not 10 cubic feet. Occupies a 4x4 area.
Large would technically be 2x2x2.
So 10 cubic feet.
10 cubic feet, yes. Well, 100 cubic feet.
Sorry,
10 on one
10,
side,
10
10
squared,
on
100
another.
cubic feet. You're right.
Yeah. 1,000 cubic feet?
1,000.
100 square feet. 1,000
If it's
cubic
10
feet.
on a side and it's a cube, it's 10 cubed.
That it's a... Yes. So 1,000 cubic feet.
Yeah.
Which is... No, that's... 1 cubic yard of water, or 1 cubic meter of water is a ton. That's crazy
Yeah,
to me.
it's insane how heavy water is. Wild.
So
3 feet
Anyway,
by 2
fun facts time.
is 2,000 pounds of water. Sorry, Noir, you were doing something important, probably?
Okay, I'll let you adjudicate this. Performance of creation.
That is my job.
The maximum size of the item at my level is large.
Okay.
So would you say that can only occupy a 10 by 10 square, or I can create the equivalent of a 10 by 10 by 10 cube of water spread out over however many feet this is?
Or could you drop it in the middle and let it splash?
Yeah, right.
It is... Yeah. Okay.
Come on, oopsie baby.
Yeah. Okay. So this is 10. This is 100 square feet, no problem, automatic. It is a lot of water. It has a lot of water.
How many times can you do that?
Once.
Would it
Once.
be enough
I think
if
if
you
you get
dropped
it
it in the middle
and
for the rest
splash
of
it.
us to then use regular, more mundane means to get the rest?
Once may be enough, because if you can get it small enough, you're on the other side of a positive feedback loop that's in your favor, right? Because like 1 square would create 4 squares, but there's 5 of you, so that's like no problem at all, right? So if you can get it small enough, you get on the other side of this break, which means that if you drop it in the middle and you it's right now it's 1, 2, 3, it's 5 by 5. If you drop it in the middle, the best case scenario was it would extinguish 4 by 4, which would leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares left. 4 people put that out. That's pretty small, all things considered. You would probably then break on the other side of this wave, right? The question is, can you make the water behave the way you want it to behave? I am going to say that this is possible, and it's going to be an ability check, and that ability check is going to be something charisma based, because you are casting it. It is your charisma.
Can I give Oobtaglor inspiration on this?
Can I cast guidance?
Let's look. We're gonna keep, because this is all happening very fast. I know I said we're coming out of initiative order, but I think we're gonna keep in initiative order instead. So Ingrid,
Also, you're out here with me. What's the range on guidance?
Yeah, you have to
guidance
touch
is
someone
touch.
for guidance.
I wasn't sure if we'd come back yet. That was
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
follow-up.
If we were going into the role playing of it, I would have said we're out of initiative here, but because this is kind of critical, I'm going to actually keep us in initiative. I'm going to go back on my word, because it means nothing.
I can get us
I'm
back
a slimy
into the
bastard.
building, like right over the course of over the window with the rest of Dog's movement, because it only took
You
us 40
guys
feet to
move
get out here.
after Oobtaglor, though, and I feel
Go
like
ahead,
they
move.
gotta do...
But technically, the thing is, like, he had 20 feet of unused movement at the end of my turn killing Adamok. So the question is, did I want to double back immediately? What with the fire and such? But I think we've moved on in
just have
initiative
dog
order, so it would be a little.
It's okay. You can move Dog back,
Okay.
because I don't think there's
Oh, Jesus
anything
Christ.
else that's really going to matter here. But basically, here's what's going to happen. Noir is going to make a roll. Unless any of you have any other thing that is capable of putting out more than one square, like some other ability, then it is this single roll. The rest of you, I'm assuming, are just putting out 1 5-foot square each turn. So it is this single roll that is going to determine the success or failure of putting out the fire. So, Ingrid, you do get to go first. Oobtaglor clearly has an idea. Would you like to give them an inspiration?
Yes. I feel so silly to do a song parody. I'm so stressed out.
Now's not the fucking
can't
time.
stop the fire.
No!
Take 2. Oobtaglor, it's all down to Oobtaglor. You are our raucous ooze, and you got the goo, so it's very shrewd to do something big. Now's the time for a spell from you. Thank you.
I like it. Timely.
Okay.
It's not timely. The
Oobtaglor,
movie's been
you
out
have
for
your
months.
you have a D6.
We can
You have a D6
evergreen.
inspiration.
D6 inspiration.
Yeah, but the musical's been out for decades, and it hasn't gone away, so...
Called it evergreen. Do you get it? Tell me how clever I am in the comments, chat. Okay, fine.
Pretty good.
Green
It's
with that
almost inspiration good, but not quite.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It's important to let you know when you almost make it, you know,
yeah.
for the morale.
Austin, does DM
okay.
inspiration stack? I forgot if we had ruled on this.
Yeah, you can stack DM inspiration.
I have 2. I had 2 DM inspiration.
Oh.
I used 1.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can't roll if you have 2 from me. You can't use 2 on a roll.
Yeah, of course.
But you can have 2, and you could stack it with another regular inspiration, the same way
So
you
I
could
have-
stack
I
it.
have
Someone,
Ingrid's
you know, Bileyg
You have
could stack
Ingrid
an inspiration
inspiration,
from you
DM
and
inspiration. You
Ingrid.
can use one of and whatever one of those. Like you can use Ingrid and a DM, but you can use 2 DMs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a performance check, because what could this possibly be from our creation bard other than a performance?
Bring the house down.
But
No
it's going to
song
be to put... There's going to be, you know, layers of success here. To put out... I assume you're putting it in the middle. Try to put out all adjacent squares. To succeed all the way on that, I'm going to need a DC 25 performance check to make the water do its liquid thing.
Come on, Oobtaglor.
Alright. No snarky parodies or anything like that. Oobtaglor will sing their song that evokes the astral sea, but I don't know, maybe they've heard a song of rain somewhere and puts that into it.
You found the rains in the plain of water. You found the rains in the beastlands.
I bless the rains
In the beastlands.
You evoke the opposite of where Oobtaglor the first died.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Noir is not looking at the camera, being extremely cryptic. I can't tell if
This
he's
is the
smiling.
most. I know we fought
and
like
if he is, I
literal
can't tell if
gods.
it's because
This is
he's
the most
excited
stress I've been
or
on a podcast
sad.
episode that we've recorded.
Low level D&D is terrifying.
I love it, but God, at what cost?
Oh, there's pictures.
There's pictures?
That's a natural
You
20.
bastard.
Don't even need it. Don't even need the inspiration.
You're so inscrutable. I can never tell if it's going to be good or bad.
Because good or bad, I'm always smiling.
Yeah.
On an honest, yeah, I know, yeah. A great poker face in that you always reveal your emotion in the same way. Whatever it is, it always manifests the same way. You watch as Oobtaglor on natural 20. We all good here. You watch as a perfect sphere of water. You are as an ooze, you're the master of the fluid. Hits the floor and cascades perfect waves splashing out, leaving only the last remnants of fire that the rest of you are able to go stomp out before they are able to spread. And though everything is burned, you're definitively going to need new desks, new chairs. The floor is torched. The rug is gone. Some important books have been destroyed.
As soon as the fire is out, Ingrid runs outside and tries to drag Adamok's body back in.
What?
Yeah, you go. You wrap your hands in some cloth so that you can grab their actual forearms. And with the fire out, the building saved. You're not in any kind of, it's not structurally compromised. You drag, although the window is smashed to hell, you drag Adamok back into the building.
Agni, I fear we may owe you some workman's comp.
Yeah, Not to ask the stupid question late. What was that all about? Who was this lady? I didn't feel bad about that bisecting her at the time, but now I'm mostly just confused.
I believe
This is Adamok.
Adamok.
She works for Shemeska, which means that our actions at the Fortune's Wheel did not go unnoticed.
Oh.
Yes.
And beginning to understand the kind of person Shemeska is, if she were to realize that her right-hand assassin, her first assassin, has not returned, I don't know if she will simply let things lie. I know that we saved the agency, but I propose that we take all of the important documents out of here and move someplace else where they cannot find us.
I think it would be prudent to move things.
It's important that people know where to find us so we can help them, but it's not the worst idea in the world to move the essentials somewhere a little more secure.
Do we have an alternate location?
My apartment's getting pretty crowded. Dog takes up a lot of room.
Noir.
I have a house.
Absolutely fucking not.
A house? Oh, right, that house. Yeah, no.
What?
I
Can we spread a room? Okay, I know you're not going to approve, and this may cause more problems in the future that I won't really get into right now. Could we spread a rumor that we moved our new agency to our agency to the Mimic House, so that if anyone were to come find us, they would go to the Mimic House?
Here's the
Okay,
thing.
but again, I cannot stress enough, most of the people who find us are innocent people in distress who need detectives to help them. We're not feeding them to the Mimic House.
No. Yes, no, I understand. It's a shaky plan, and I understand this isn't going...
We include a forwarding address, but only for bad guys that want to kill us?
Is there some way the rumor could only go
here.
to Shemeska?
If you're an enemy, go here.
Yeah, good guys this way, bad guys over there, where we keep all the important documents
Don't
and
worry.
shiny desserts.
We gave them the wrong address. We gave you guys the right one.
Ingrid's been very quiet this whole situation. I think she's gonna jump in like, we're not moving to the Mimic House. I still have the lease on my old apartment that's not attached to here. We can store things there. Everyone gather up your important and sentimental materials. I'll put mine in a box and give Oobtaglor the address. I have a different delivery to make in the interim. If you could all move those items, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah, sure thing.
Fally gets his tea mug.
Aww.
Yeah, Bileyg has...
Fally's like one item in this whole world that he doesn't carry on his person.
But Bileyg keeps his conspiracy board in his apartment, so there's nothing super
Ingrid will pick up the floorboard behind her desk.
Yeah. He's got like the 7-layer coffee dip that's been like boiled by the fire and is now even more viscous than before.
Bileyg, if you brew that coffee in my apartment and I have to smell it for the rest of time, my vengeance will be swift and merciless.
No, it's already all brewed. I'm trying this new thing called cold brewing, where you kind of steep the grounds.
Let's do this quickly.
It's from Stygia.
We do still have it.
Stygia the frozen. Cania might be the frozen level of the Night House. I don't remember anymore.
We are still the detectives of Open and Shut. We still have a case to attend to. Let's do this quickly and return so that we might solve the most immediate problem for that dear ladron of ours.
On that note, I'd like everyone to make an insight check, please.
Insight?
Yeah. I know. I was like, Red's gonna be so happy.
I mean, I'm not
Was
exactly
the
been
Eladrin
rolling
working
hot
for
today.
Shemeska?
Come on.
And
That's a...
Oh, wait, I'm
7.
lucky. Hold on.
I got a dirty
Come on.
20.
God damn it.
Well, the first one was a 1, and now it's a 4, which makes it an 8.
You just rolled me a 20, dude. Why? Okay.
Look, now that the crisis
All
is
right.
over, we're all kind of in a different place.
Oobtaglor and Bileyg rolled kind of low. Fally, what did you get?
I also rolled a 1, so that's a cool 7.
All right. Lots of
rolled
trauma
12.
going around. Hard to wrap your minds around, and everyone's just looking to get somewhere safe. Ingrid, what did you roll?
Dirty 20.
Oh, thank God.
Dirty 20. On a
That's why
dirty
you're
20,
the boss.
you're thinking about, you say, let's get somewhere safe. You actually say, let's deal with like the most pressing business. You do have a case. That woman is sick. The amount of time it's going to take for this news to get back to Shemeshka is measured in hours, not days. There is something more pressing, which is finding out how to get this taken care of. And it took all of you to kill Adamok here. You're going to need whatever it is you were going to do to make it so that Shemeshka is not coming for you. You're going to need allies, and you do know of a powerful ally that is against Shemeshka.
I was going to go give Adamok's head to Lothar. Is that who you're talking about, or do you mean the Planar Trade Consortium?
That, first off, that's a great idea.
Holy
You should do
shit!
that.
Yeah!
First off,
I'm
that's
not
a great
even
idea.
morally upset by that. That's crazy.
You should do that. Second, Lothar is not the powerful ally.
Lothar's not, but
Planar Trade Consortium.
Kadara is, right?
Zadara.
His boss.
Zadara? Yeah, you don't have any connection to. I meant the Planar Trade Consortium.
Yeah, the guys that pay us 10 platinum.
Your employers who had you spying on Shemeshka, who got you into this place in this
they got us into
hot
this
water
mess.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say, let's go to my apartment. Your apartment's probably fine because you assume Shemeshka assumed you were going to die in this attack. When word gets out that you didn't die, she's going to look for you at the normal places you would hide. So unless you can go somewhere safe, that's a very, very temporary fix.
I guess could we
just go hang out with Nyx and Undersigil? We're like, hey, you got room for 5 more?
Undersigil is totally an option.
Okay, so order of operations. Head to Lothar.
Head to Lothar.
Contact Planar Trade Consortium and say, help, the scary lady you made us piss off is really, really mad. And then we go hide somewhere, right?
Yeah, Ingrid will tell you guys that she's going to take... Lothar, the old, contacted me, the person we stole Neil's soul back from, and he wants recompense for that, and he asked for the head of an important player in the game, someone who was related to one of the big factions in Sigil, and I was going to go make a very tempting offer for my own soul and skull, but...
Oh,
then this,
Ingrid, no.
Well, then this Bladeling showed up and destroyed my office, and now I'm feeling like that's a perfect candidate for replacing that offer. So I need to go give Adamok this person's head. Why don't you all head to the Planar Trade Consortium, bring them up to speed on what occurred, hide out. Their offices are across from the Hall of Records, so, even technically kind of in line with us investigating the case, and I'll meet you there as quickly as possible. I don't think it'd be good for Lothar to suddenly also be present with all the other people who technically screwed him over. And he is in Zadara's home, so I do feel like Shemeshka can't get me while I'm there, so I'll hustle. But I do...
Is there a chance you could, mail it? Get one of those post boys to just take
I don't think sending a
suspiciously
head through
head-shaped
the
package?
mail is... It's not that I think the Knights of the Post won't do it, it's that I think Lothar needs the personal touch,
I suppose that is important if we're trying to win him over.
It's a good point of insight to be like, yeah, I don't think that the Knights of the Post would actually really bother object to having a head delivered to them.
Yeah,
they're pretty
it's
unscrupulous.
It's not the craziest thing that's been mailed in Sigil, but it's more the ceremony of it all.
Fee that goes with it.
Yeah,
I just got such a vivid mental image of like bespoke mob threat couriers that are like, do you want us to gussy it up, make sure the blood's fresh,
If you're going to Lothar, I had a thought.
Yes.
Do you remember how we only fulfilled half of the contract to Maramoth, and the other half was to bring Estevan to Maramoth, which is like an insanely impossible task unless we did my thing, which was to create a dummy Estevan?
Yes, the thing that the person who takes apart dead bodies for a living would have probably immediately recognized as not a real body. Yes, I do remember this.
Yes, well, the reason why the exchange for delivering Estevan would have been Laurel, right?
Yes.
Well, if Laurel's body is with Maramoth, then perhaps Laurel's soul is in another stone in Lothar's possession. If you wanted to continue, chewing on that line, it could be another thing you could ask for.
It could. I think for the time being, my focus is on paying off the debt with Nil. And as much as I would like to solve the mystery of the missing detective, there is also information on the loop on offer from someone who escaped it, which is our missing link. Lothar holds a lot of information, and I'd like to stay in his good graces.
He did say that Laurel Lockwood's was not in his possession, but he is also the exact kind of person you would ask if you wanted to figure out where that guy's soul is.
Yeah.
So that is a good insight.
I completely forgot about the conversation.
You're good. That's why I reminded you.
It's been a rather trying couple of hours.
Couple of hours. It's been like 26 minutes.
I meant me in real life.
Oh, yeah. No, that's been tough. Okay, so Ingrid is going by herself to Lothar, and the rest of you are going to the Planar Trade Consortium. Did I hear that right?
That's what Ingrid proposes. If anyone would like to argue against it, please feel free to. I don't want to
I'm sending
just
dog
command.
with Ingrid.
Okay. Ingrid, aboard dog, the rest of you heading around through the Hive Ward, through the bustling the night market, the bustling night market that you were just in not a day, or not 5 days ago. You arrive at the headquarters of the Planar Trade Consortium, which are sterile, to put it bluntly.
Fally's gonna love this place.
You've been in a lot of. You're probably gonna love this place. You've been in a lot of buildings, campuses, whatever, that are owned, run by very wealthy people. And even like the Institute, which is of academic excellence, which is a university, right? These places that have money show off the money by having things. There's beautiful things here because Sigil is the most devoid of natural resources that a place could be. It's at the center of all things, which means everything has to come through here, but that means there's a premium on all things because nothing gets made here. To have lots of stuff is a privilege, and most places show that off in spades, even if they're not rich people trying to show off. Even, the Civic Fest Hall has all kinds of, beautiful imports to show you that we are flourishing. It's a point of pride. Again, even the Institute has that to show, like, look how influential and important we are. We have things from all these worlds. You know how much money must flow through the Planar Trade Consortium, and yet there's a you're like, if Scrooge didn't run a money lending agency, he ran the money lending agency in London, right? If like he had a whole ass tower to himself, that is this building. It is depressing. Like, they didn't even spring for windows in most places. It is depressing.
This is more like it.
You arrive.
Smell that stale air.
You arrive in the clerk's ward, and after giving your names at the front desk, are approached by Lazaro, who sees you and gives a quick greeting, and then holds up his hand before you say any words, and says, "I've been told that Esteban would like to speak to you personally. Please, follow me this way." And takes you up a long, winding staircase to the very, very top of the Planar Trade Consortium headquarters here. Opens the door, lets you in, and closes it behind you without entering himself. You see a room that is long, but no less austere. The only exception that has been made to elegance here is the size of the room. Presumably, even with a man this large, he could get by with less. The room is large, but the furnishings just as stringent, just as plain, utilitarian. And you see sitting there, hands folded, not even the illusion of working on anything else. He says, "Come, please, sit." And you two have seen Esteban before. Fally, what you see is a monster of a man. He's huge. He's got to be like 5 feet across in his shoulders. He's got like blue skin. He's got little tusks that come up out of his bottom lip. And he's like has hands folded. He's got like white hair. He's an ogre. So he is just this giant hulk of a guy. Any motions for... There are 4 chairs here. Clearly he anticipated another among you, but motions for the rest of you to sit.
We do so.
Okay. It has come to my attention that there was an incident tonight in the lower ward. That perhaps there was attack upon your home, is that correct?
Our agency, yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. I have no illusions that your work with and for the Planar Trade Consortium has not put you into danger. I appreciate everything that you've done to try to help us. And I would like to, in kind, try to help you out of the hot water you have found yourselves in. Would this be to your agreement?
What are you proposing?
A final bargain. We have considerable resources, and though Shemeshka loathes us greatly, and her, we can make certain that she understands you are under our protection, and also no longer agents under our employ that she need fear. In other words, we can make you undesirable targets. Is that of interest to you?
Undesirable how?
We sever your connection to the Planar Trade Consortium to make it clear that she does not need to worry about you gathering any more information or acting against her, and we make it clear that any retaliation against you is a retaliation directly against our interests, and that we would respond in kind.
I guess I'm a little confused. You make us undesirable by severing us from the Planar Trade Consortium, yet if Shemeshka were to attack us, it would be considered an attack on the Planar Trade Consortium?
I do see the irony there. What I mean to say is, Shemeshka is not foolish enough to waste resources on targets she thinks are no longer going to act against her, and targets that we have made clear we may have... Austin's gonna have to take a pause from explaining, because I do see the contradiction there.
I think what we're going for is that we wouldn't be in the Planar Trade Consortium's employ anymore going after Shemeshka and the Fortune's Wheel, but we would be like, they have the Planar Trade Consortium stamp of approval, and if you fuck with them...
We're moving from
so, like,
their employ to their protection in a way.
Yeah, we'd be retired from working for them, but they'd be like, if you mess with them, you mess with us. I understand what he's going for. It sounds less sus than the previous way he was phrasing it.
Okay.
Awesome. So, he explains, we remove you from, as Red said, we remove you from our employ into our protection. No longer agents, just people of interest. And to go against you would be to risk a strike back from our own agents against Shemeshka's. Also, my apologies. My name is Esteban. I don't believe we've met. And reaches out a big hand to shake Fally's hand.
Yes, hello. Can I compliment you on the austerity of your building? It's excellent. Could I suggest perhaps a few more stanchions outside?
Few do. Stanchions were not in the budget. But I take your meaning. There is a intangible quality, a usefulness to projecting an air of authority that I take it you must understand. Perhaps it would be of use in the future to consider that addition.
It's really excellent for crowd control, I find. When you have august persons in a place, you have to make sure that there's some separation. But so am I to understand you're proposing an amendment to an already existing contract?
Hell yeah, Fally.
Oh, hell yeah.
I am.
He turns to Oobtaglor and says, no, not to get in the middle, but with circumstances changing, it seems like we should examine the previous contract. Do you have it with you? Can I read it? Normally I wouldn't get involved, but it seems like I may need to be an appended entity onto this contract. Otherwise, it's in addition to the existing contract, I'm not a part of the existing contract.
Yeah,
And
the kid's a new contractor, but in just as much danger as the rest of us, so...
Yes, anyone who takes out Shemeshka's most powerful enforcer is, by definition, an enemy of her. He rings a bell, and you see Lazaro opens the door and, pokes his head in, and he says, "A contract, so that we may have things plain in writing, and please add, in addition, this..." Motions for your name.
Fally. Bright Shield.
This Fally Brightshield. Nods, closes the door. We will have it drawn up on paper and ink so that it is plain for all to see. But my suggestion, my offer, is this. If we are to offer the protection that I am saying, it is to put the Planar Trade Consortium in a difficult spot, to risk war with Shemeshka. If that is to be done, it means that we will require adequate compensation by your actions. As you know, I have desire of a particular item that was meant for me, purchased by me yet stolen. You know its name now, the Chronosphere of Lagos. Somewhere within the mortuary, Meremoth.
We'll explain later.
Somewhere within the mortuary, Meremoth has other intentions for it. Bring me the Chronosphere, and I will see to it the protection you require is made.
Austin wants us to ponder the orb so damn bad.
Can you amend in your contract, then, that we would also receive protection, surely, from Meremoth and the forces of the mortuary?
And also, can we add an addendum for compensatory damages? I mean, I haven't seen the terms of the original contract, but we have already incurred significant
maybe we can let that one. Maybe we can let that one slide.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, Fally, make a persuasion check.
Fally.
Oh my
I
God.
love this. I love this for him. He gets to do all of his little contract
22,
laws.
that's 20.
Lawyerly.
Let's
Nat
go.
Hell yeah, Fally.
I will
This
see
is the
to
one
it that...
thing he does.
Indispensable.
Indeed, I will see to it that your headquarters, your place of business, is refurbished to its previous quality, and we will pay for any resurrections that may be necessary, as long as you are able to bring the bodies.
Oh, of course. And can we also secure alternative housing, sort of while we're waiting for those refurbishments to occur?
Indeed, we have many properties. We'll put you up in one of them. Keep the location quiet so that Shemeshka cannot find you while you prepare.
What
Is
was
there
the
anything else you guys want?
What was
This
the
is
status
going
of getting
great.
protection from Meremoth? Did you agree to that, or?
Just thinking about
Meremoth is not as vengeance-minded as Shemeshka is. But yes, we will see to it. I believe that I have met Meremoth personally. I believe that if you are actors under the Planar Trade Consortium, his gripe will be held with me, and not yourselves. Allow me to deal with that. However, I cannot guarantee that if he does not see you while you are doing this, he will not try to kill you in the process.
Well, as
That
long as his
guarantee of
vengeance
safety
stops
I
at the
cannot
door.
make.
Well, and of course,
While you're
current
within the
compensatory-
mortuary, whatever happens, happens. Once outside, yes, our protection.
And Oobtaglor, currently the resurrections and compensatory damages were not contingent on them being from, what was this, the Sashuka that you mentioned? Shemeshka.
Very good.
I think you should cover that to her
Shemeshka,
face.
Yes.
The fox, Arcanoloth, is standing in her beautiful ball gown in
yes,
the beautiful
shakshuka.
gambling hall she runs, thinking that she's just taking care of a great problem, a great thorn in her side that her assassin is successfully killed, and she's like, and someone calls her Shashuka.
Someone just disrespected me.
Of course,
so
we don't
bad.
want we don't want to egg her on. Anyway.
Bad.
Fuck.
Bad.
Okay. I'm good.
So
I'm good.
it's not contingent on the damage coming from any one specific source. So I believe as long as we can argue that the damage and or threat is coming from something related to our continued action under the the Planar Trade Association, I think we're also still covered somewhat.
Okay. Then I think these terms are agreeable.
Very excellent. We'll have something drawn up, and we'll have guard bring you to a undisclosed location where you may commence your planning. I give you no time limit, but know this. Shemeshka is clever. We can hide you for a good deal of time. I doubt we can hide you indefinitely.
What a day.
Thank you. If we could have the keys to that new property.
Yeah, it's very
We'll
obliging.
be on our
You will
way.
be taken. You are taken outside. You wait a little time. Your contract is given to you, and Fally, I assume you would like to look it over.
Yes, I'd like to look it over. I'd also like to submit a list of the requisite needs we'd have for the said property, like including especially room for dog.
Aww.
Yeah.
Outdoor space.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I also want to look over the contract for like tricks and traps, anything that
Hell
is unexpected.
yeah, dude.
Make an investigation, and you know that when you investigate a contract, you have advantage. So go ahead and roll.
It's great to have another
I'm
bureaucrat
so glad
around.
I'm not the lawyer this time.
Oh.
Noir, who was like reading devil contracts all of last campaign, is like, oh my god.
That is only a 13.
13. You go through, make sure there's an addendum about getting dog included. Everything does seem to conform to your expectations.
Great.
No obvious bamboozlements. And you are taken, along with the promise that when Ingrid arrives, she will also be escorted. You are taken off to your safe house. From there, we are going to head over and follow Ingrid aboard Dog, who takes you late at night to the campus of Zadara. Question: did you decapitate this? Did you decapitate Adamok before or after everyone left?
I think Ingrid would
Like, was it in front of everyone, or
go
were
to
you like
in
you
front
guys
of
should
everybody and then look and see Fally's face and be like, "I'll catch up with you all later." So I'll wait till they leave.
All right. You take the grizzly. They all leave. You take the Grixis blade. Takes a bit of sawing to get through the tough skin, but you have the head. Are you just gonna carry it? Are you gonna put it in something?
I'll put it in a
bag
sack.
or a box.
Also, is there any other
You get a sack?
loot on this person?
Oh, there is loot. Thank you for reminding me.
Whoa, loot.
Adamok had two pieces of two magic items. Adamok has a ring of evasion and boots of speed.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, hold on to those to divvy up later.
So,
Party
loot to divvy up at some point in the future. But in the meantime, you take the head, and ride off to Zadara. You arrive at the campus, and one of the sword archons flies down. Big ass angel, like flaming eyes. No forearm down is just blades. Like flies down to kind of ask what you're doing here late at night. Sees a bag that is dripping blood, like soaked through and dripping blood. Let her in. And the gate opens, and he escorts you to Lothar. You once again find yourself in the bones of the night. This time, late, you find Lothar is reading by candlelight. If I was surprised to see you the first time, I have to say this late at night, I'm caught even more off guard. He's so old, and he's got like a big open robe. He's like pulling it over his he's so you wouldn't tell it by looking at him because you usually see his hands, and then his face has this huge beard. So it's kind of hard to tell that he's like super emaciated and skinny. But now that you see
Old
like
zombie
he
man.
like pulls the robe close, like you can count his ribs.
Apologies for dropping in so late. Ingrid has taken the time to like repin her hair, but otherwise looks terrible. She's got like 6 siblings. But I had
gotten a short rest on Dog's back.
Rare opportunity to procure a skull that I think will be of high interest to you, and hopefully fulfill my end of our bargain, if you'd be interested. And I'll reveal Adamoc's head.
Please.
This is one of the most trusted minions of Shemeshka, and I believe quite aware of many of the inner workings of her operations.
Oh, I know who that is. Oh my God, may I?
Of course. And I'll kind of gingerly place it down.
Spreads a little white towel on his knee, like he's getting ready for tea, and then takes the decapitated severed head that's dripping blood and like turns it over.
How does it still have blood in it? It's been like an hour.
Magic.
You know what?
It's magic world. It's magic world where things happen.
Magic blood.
She's made of blades. Her body is made of metal. Why does she even have blood at all?
This is a prize specimen. Ow. This is a prize specimen. Oh. You've quite outdone yourself, I must say, Ingrid Starling. A great performance and a great following through on a deal. Places it on the table next to a little plate of like thumbprint cookies, like the jam.
Not one of
the
the boxes of butter cookies that's always selling equipment
Bunch
instead.
Bunch of Werther's Originals in a little bowl.
Yeah. Places it down.
It's old people date night, folks. We don't know what we're getting.
Well, I must say this more than adequately settles our debt, I believe. I'd gotten all the information I needed out of that changeling anyway. So, a deal's deal. We're square, and there's no reason for any other parties to be made known of the transgressions here, and you wish to know more about the loop.
If that could be arranged. I'm particularly interested in how one inside would get out of it, and I'm made to understand that you have access to an individual who has that information.
Well, that's the million platinum question, isn't it? Yes. Many have been able to get in, although not often on purpose. There have been stories of what goes on in there. Time compresses, longer, shorter. These are not unexpected. It goes on infinitely in one direction, both directions looping around. You stumble upon your own markings many, many times, and yet still come across new things. How could it be possible? Who's to say? But how to escape? I have been speaking with a former acolyte of one Prince of Mazes, Baphomet. Oh. You know him. Big horns, the Abyss. He found himself within and struggled to get out, but luckily, as I said, he had a powerful patron who he could call upon, and not just any powerful patron. The loop is at its core the most pure manifestation of the mazes of Sigil that the lady banishes her enemies and foes to. Just one simple turn, and yet you may never escape. Though it has no doors out to the other mazes, it is part of that system. Almost at the center. This priest of Baphomet called upon his patron to influence, to awaken the mazes of Sigil. He was able to escape the loop by creating a living maze that briefly, very briefly,
fucking kidding me,
connected between the loop and under Sigil, allowing him to escape. I don't know if you know any priests of Baphomet, but if you are able to undertake a similar ritual, it's possible that you will be able to connect the loop back out to Sigil itself, briefly traveling through the mazes.
You know the picture of Ben Affleck where he's got the cigarette and he looks I imagine that's what it looks like.
Chekhov's Monster House.
I knew it was going to come into play, but like at what cost?
I love the idea that, like, on the outside, Ingrid is, like, as composed as ever, and on the inside, it's just, like, all 5 stages of grief at once.
Ingrid's had the worst day of her life, and then on the cherry on top, also Maze has to be important again.
Yeah.
This is tied for worst day of my life. Tied with what? Every other freaking day of my life.
Fally, I take back our entire conversation. Oobtaglor has done nothing wrong.
I cannot thank you enough for that information. It certainly helps guide our particular quest. And, more than adequately answers any questions I may have had. If I could ask you one final unrelated thing, and...
Oh, please.
I previously asked you about the soul of an individual who you do not have in your possession. I was wondering if you could point me in the direction of whom might have one former detective in their care.
Give me a few days to ask around with the, the skulls. 3 or 4 preferably. I have a lot of questions to ask you. Picks up the head of Adamok like it's a newborn baby. We're going to have so much fun together once I get all of this flesh off.
Of course. And do be sure to tell her that I really am digging the new open concept look she gave the office. Rub it in, if you could.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but I will.
Man has 17,000 rooms and all of them are connected by doors and walls.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds like an inside joke. I'll let her know.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
A few days would be fine. We may not be at our office at the moment, but you can always...
You know where to find me. I never leave this room.
This is true. I'll be back in a few days, provided I don't, die in the interim. Good evening.
Okay. Have fun. With that, Open and Shut has never been in a more precarious spot, but the answers also lie ahead of you. Unless there is any other dramatic beats you would like to hit before the end of the episode, I think we'll save the doling out magic items, coming up with a plan, all of that for next time.
I had 2 things. One, Ingrid would like to talk to Oobtaglor when they're all at the safe house and reconvening. And also I need to roll for the sending stone. Because
you do. Thank you for remembering. So first off, you arrive at the Planar Trade Consortium. They lead you to the safe house, which is just one of their many warehouse buildings in the Market Ward.
Well, this is cozy. Right, everyone's here A-okay, and all of our stuff, and I miss the office. My chair was so comfortable.
Oh, the leftovers in my apartment are gonna go bad. That's alright. I'll work on that later.
Oh god, there's no more coffee. Bileyg might actually not get to drink that coffee anymore. This could be a good thing for us.
Oh, don't worry. I saved it when the fire looked like it was gonna consume the rest of the, We're gonna need to keep our energy up for the next few days. Bileyg has the shirt on his back
and a pot of coffee.
You know it. Priorities.
I would like to thank everyone for your efforts today, both in saving all of our respective lives and for putting out the fire. I understand that most of you were here for a job above all else, and well, the office is sentimental for me, and I appreciate that everyone participated in saving it. Oobtaglor, if we could have a word.
Oh, of course.
Go to some other corner of the of the safe house apartment.
Yeah.
Bileyg is immediately trying to make the safe house as cozy as possible.
Just putting a...
Fally
they got a
looking
kitchen
for the
in
coffee. Fally's looking for the coffee pot, going no, it was definitely in the specifications. Room for dog, coffee pot, tea.
It'll be in there.
Oobtaglor, I know the last week or so we have been in the aftermath of a particular argument, and I would like to not justify my actions, but at the very least explain them. I want you to have all the information on how I operate, so that as we enter these progressively more dangerous places, I guess it's eyes open, as it were. Will you hear me out?
Of course.
Do you know why Sigil is unique amongst the Planescape?
It's not beholden to any one particular alignment.
This is correct. It is not chaotic, nor lawful, nor good, nor evil, and it is not even true neutrality. And because of that, everyone who comes here is in the unique situation of being able to become whatever it is that they like. Certainly, some choose to stick to their original alignment, and for others it is easier to break from that than others. But I am one of the many who chooses to take into each individual as they present themselves to me in this city, and I have to believe that every individual is capable of change. I am not trying to do good. I am just trying to do what I think is best in the moment. I'm not like Bileyg in this way. I do not adhere to a particular ethos or morality. With Fane, it is true that at a glance, what he said will happen will happen. But I have to believe, as I do for everyone we have encountered, that they are capable of changing. We don't know how his time in the loop will change him. We don't know how his time with Evrard might change him. But that is a gamble I'm willing to take. And I'm willing to take that gamble for many an individual regardless of their origin or their current state, including every single one of the employees of Open and Shut and myself. I would ask that, as I am the proprietor of Open and Shut, it is also void of that sort of rigid alignment, and even that rigid desire to do good that our compatriot may have. I will never tell you to do evil, but we are going to do a lot of things that are questionable, and in the pursuit of choice and change. I understand as well that you may feel a bit sidelined, and I apologize if we have not listened to your ideas with the patience they deserve in the past. I hope that you know that as we go into this progressively more dangerous mission, as it were, that my ears are open, and I hope that we can work as cohesively as possible towards our shared goal of retrieving Evrard and helping, however that may be.
A few things. A case is a case. No matter what our disagreements may be, I will not let them stand in the way of solving a case. And that includes the case of successfully retrieving Evrard. Secondly, I am also a being of change, so I am quite familiar with the concept. I believe change to be deliberate, not aimless. I don't simply believe that Fane will change because he has the capacity to. If we were to guide him to change, that would be another matter entirely, but we never even gave that the chance. And that was part of what I was arguing about in the first place, and that argument has passed, and I'm not here to dredge it up again, but that's simply what I'm saying. Thirdly, dangerous does not begin to explain the half of it. We have to retrieve the chronosphere of Lagos from Aramoth.
Yes.
And have an idea, and you said you were willing to listen to those ideas.
Yes, I am willing to listen to those ideas. I'm not going to say that we're going to do it 100% of the time, but I will hear you out.
Yeah. But those are my points.
Very well. I think we largely agree, Oobtaglor, and I hope that... I don't know what I hope. Also, I found out something very distressing when I was talking to Lothar. You haven't happened to be continuing to feed that monster house by any chance?
No, what? No, what? My monster house? No, what are you talking about?
Well, we need a... Ingrid is putting on a performance at this point. Well, we need a living maze to connect to the loop. That's how a previous follower of Baphomet got out.
Oh, shit. You said feeding? Feeding? I thought you said feeling. I wasn't feeling maze or anything, but feeding,
I
sure.
fucking knew you've been feeding that goddamn thing this entire time.
Well, of course I have. If exactly for a purpose like this, then Oobtaglor will just will generate arms and raise them and just say, vindicated! Vindication!
Go gloat about it to the others. I got calls to make.
Vindication! Oobtaglor will just say that as they go into the other room.
Okay. with that taken care of, Ingrid, let's go ahead. You've got 5 D100 rolls to make, and my question is, what 5% are you trying to hit? You trying to hit the 96, 97, 98, 99, 100?
Let's go for the 90s. Let's go for the 90s. Lucky decade.
Okay. The high. You're rolling high. Highball. Here we go.
That's a 54.
Okay, that's 1.
That's a 70.
Okay, we're creeping up.
20.
Okay.
Damn.
48.
I'm getting higher.
31.
Okay. You know what? You get all those other numbers out of the way, and then
every time I roll, the odds get better in my brain. I know that's not how statistics and probability works, but I'm going to choose to believe it.
As my brother would say, no, they don't go up. They're 50-50 each time. Either it's going to happen or it's not going to happen.
Yes.
All right.
No calls go through.
Well,
bring.
You call into the sending stone. No answer, but you have a path ahead of you. You have some decisions to make, including, are you going to prioritize getting yourselves safe from Shemeshka by taking on the Merrimouth job? Or are you going to prioritize the job that you've already started, even though the risk of Shemeshka will grow with every passing day? That is what we'll decide next week on Campaign 2, Season 2, Episode 8 of Open and Shut Investigations. We will see you all then. Thank you all for joining us.
Oh,
thanks, guys.
I feel like I just ran a marathon.
I thought this was going to be the chill episode of the season because it's that weird spot before the finale picks up.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I need to make so many more egg. I need to prepare so many more egg puns.
Oh man.
The shakshuka, the 1-2 punch of the shakshuka egg pun was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really solid.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Open and Shut, a Rolling with Difficulty campaign. We'll be back next week with another thrilling installment, but if you miss us before then, check out our Discord server for fun fan conversations. Head over to CrowdMade to pre-order your Kyana and Finbar pin pack and get 2 members of the Per Aspera crew for your very own. And if you enjoyed the podcast, give us a review on your podcast platform of choice, or head over to YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps other people find the show and enjoy the adventures. And if you really enjoyed the show, consider becoming a patron for even more exclusive benefits, like all sorts of art, doodles, there's tons of written fictions and things, just so much nonsense that our cast has managed to come up with over the years. So check all of that out, all linked in the show notes down below, and we will catch you out there on the streets of the cage.